Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Premiere Uncut. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum, which you should definitely all join. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Now, speaking of Patreon, I'm actually going to shout out all of the people who support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out to Tina Baker, theflatearthchannel.com, Texas Mike, Sweet Equity, Sam Hine, Rune, Reinhardt, Qatar Craig, Paige, Michael, Matt, Life is Short, Kirsten Smith, Jeranism, Godrockin, Fireball X, Felix Hung, Edwin, we got David Wayne Foster, Dank, Chow Young Cat, Burn Fat till my stomach is as flat as the earth, Billy Hivel, BG, and Alistair Main. Big massive shout out to all of you. Now we do have a full panel of both Discord
Patreon
and Google
games.
Plus, so a very warm welcome to all of you.
Hello. I was just reading the core
Hello.
of a question. Is relative density a scalar or a vector? So Elijah wanted me to read it out. You want to hear it?
You don't. Yeah, we didn't. I don't care. You don't know what a vector is.
Well, maybe we'll all learn what a vector is.
I already know what a vector
Why
is.
don't you learn it first?
just
and
want
then
him
get
to-
back?
I already know what a vector is. I'm the expert on science, but I think that's that.
But the reason for me, asking him to read that out is because he's making declarations, and it's like, well, I haven't heard the conclusion as an audience member. So instead of rumpusing and
not
going
just
back and
my
forth, I would like for him
declaration,
to support.
This is Peter Upton from BA Physics
Okay,
and
well,
Mathematics
okay.
at the Open University.
Go ahead, Dawn.
Okay, present.
So do you want me to read it?
Please. Go ahead.
Okay. Is relative density a scalar or vector? Answered February 18th, 2019. Peter Upton, BA Physics and Mathematics, Open University. It is obviously a scalar. There are several ways of approaching this. Firstly, is there any sense in which relative density or density has a direction? Can you get sand which is dense in a northerly direction, but other sand is more easterly dense? It is clearly nonsense. Density equals mass over volume. Mass and volume are both scalars, so density has to be a scalar. If density is the scalar, then if you compare the density of sand with that of water, how could it possibly acquire a direction when neither of the two things being compared have a direction?
What's
There's one more
mass?
paragraph if you want that.
Well, does he define what mass is?
Does he need to define what mass is? Surely you
Yeah.
can Google that.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
He's
Mass
ignored
does not need to be
Twitter.
defined. You
Hold
can
on.
Google the definition of mass.
Oh,
go on then.
Baby can Google it.
Maybe you
thought
could do
could
that,
have a
Dawn.
cheap win, did you?
There's literally
Doesn't work
there's one
that way.
definition of mass. You can Google it. A baby can.
No, there's not. There's more than one definition of mass.
Well,
He's just
one
ignoring
understood
relativity.
normal definition. I'm sure he's using the
The
standard
normal
definition.
definition. Which one's that?
Fucking hell, I'm not doing your semantic quizzes, Nathan. You're an
Semantics. What does semantics mean, Dawn?
I'm not doing your quizzes. I'm not here for that.
What does semantics mean?
I'm not here to play your quiz games, dictionary quiz
said
games. You're not the
semantics.
expert on the English language
It's
at all.
semantics.
Do you want me to
Well,
ask you
well,
what
Dawn, we're all here to.
what words mean? You just used the word semantics. What does semantics mean?
I didn't. You projecting there, Dawn. You used it.
Used on.
I just heard you say it.
Oh, and
You,
so
you
you're
said,
just
what
going to
does
use it
semantics mean?
without even knowing what it is.
Very
That makes
sharp,
so much
Dawn.
sense.
Sharp
What
as
does it
a
mean,
tack.
Well, fuck off with your stupid
No
quiz
need. Look, I don't want to have to
questions
kick you for being triggered. Come on. We're just having fun here. Earth's not a sphere. It's flat as a pancake. What do you want?
then. No, not everyone's having fun in the same way, though, are they?
I am.
Yeah, this is
So
fun.
what's semantics?
It is fun.
So
Nathan
define the words
wants
that
to
you use.
explain
What's
semantics,
semantics?
doesn't he? He's the one obsessed with it.
Do you want a tip,
It's a-
Dawn? When you use a word and someone calls you out for it, right? Have some humility Except that you don't know what the word means. Just
Any
look it up.
normal person that I respected, I would Google the word and explain my understanding of it, and then Google it to see if I was correct.
So,
But
do
with
you respect?
I say fuck off.
Do you
You're a
respect
narcissist, I'm not
yourself?
playing your
That's the
role.
point here. Do you respect yourself as it's you that use that word? Because that's kind of what you're saying. I have
I'm
no
not
respect
playing
when
your
someone
quicky
uses a word and
games,
asks
dude.
me to
I know what I mean
find
by
it.
semantics. You know what the word means.
You used it though.
So
So, without literally defining what
that doesn't mean I
semantics
need to
means.
explain what it means to you after I use it. That's
Yeah,
because I use a word.
Well,
Once
I
you've-
have another.
Okay, hold on. Let me just round this
question.
out. Once you've looked at, go away. Once you've gone away and looked up semantics, then look up the word irony.
Then mass.
The relative density.
Then mass.
The
Yeah,
relative
then mass.
density is obviously a scalar point. Seems to be getting lost.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Lost in semantics.
wanted-
Fancy that.
I wanted to get back to that.
Go ahead. Guy who's got a breaking up connection.
Semantics and narcissism together is a bad mix because
What's semantics?
semantics and narcissism together.
What's semantics?
Really ugly mix.
Just Google it, Dawn. Just see what it says.
Like, I'm using it. I don't have to explain what I mean. If you're not up to date on the English language, that's your problem.
Matter.
I use what words I want.
Well, Don,
You don't get to
Don,
question me on
everyone
the
here-
meaning afterwards.
everyone here other than you, Dawn, is here because we've questioned someone in authority. So why aren't you
What?
questioning the mass bit? Like if we're telling you there's something
idiot.
funny about the
You idiot.
definition of mass, because are you gonna just call me an idiot? I'm the only one trying to give you respect
You're
here, to give you
assuming
a
I don't
platform
question
to
authority.
make your case.
Are you the
This
guy
is
that helped him out with
You
his
just
argument?
you just read out this guy's definition from this
I trust Pete Upton,
university, and you're
BA
like, well, there it is.
Mathematics from the Open University on what relative density is. Yes, I'm afraid I do trust him on that over you.
Yeah, what's mass?
But when we say, hey, wait a minute, there's a problem with the definition of mass, you don't want to scrutinize that. You're just like, well, no, that's wrong. You're an idiot.
What do you mean? There's a problem? Nathan just said, but which definition does he mean?
What does that
That's not a
imply?
problem with the word mass.
Well,
Well,
what's
that's not
that
a
imply?
problem
Hold
that
on,
there's
just-
multiple definitions for a word you're trying to use.
Chocolate's just
That's not a
told
problem
you.
for you.
That's
What,
just
so
what
we have to count
he hasn't
the
made that
article
step
out?
yet. Chocolate. He hasn't. From my language, you've picked up on that from my language. He hasn't. So
Yeah,
I was
he
going to
will.
ask you.
I
Give him
know.
a chance.
He's not using
Saying
semantics.
one of the definitions of mass is a scalar. Because if it isn't, then this is irrelevant.
What?
It-
Scalar? What?
That's the reason they use mass in this in paragraph.
What does that imply when I
Just-
say
just
which
by
one?
saying
Oh, Dawn, if you could
equals
pause
mass
for
volume,
thought just
mass
for
volume
5
of both
seconds,
scalars.
my friend. Stop talking. What does that imply if I say which one? Does that imply that there's a choice of more than one?
Well, are any of them scalars?
Oh, so you think it's okay to have more than one definition?
Of course, it's fine to have more than one definition. Well, that's how
in
language
the, in the
works.
same argument?
It's a massive part of language.
In the
So
same
you
argument?
don't see that that's why you're being asked a definition, so
You think he
everybody's
needed
on
to
the same
explain
page,
exactly
right?
which definition of mass he meant?
Yeah,
to
that
answer
would be
a
nice.
chorus.
Yes, Dawn, that's correct. We're saying, which mass does he mean? What does he mean by mass? You know what this is called, Dawn? It's called,
count up,
Dawn,
yeah.
Dawn,
Fuck it.
if you just
Fuck
shut
it.
up long enough, you might learn something. This is called semantics.
You know how
It's
much
called
I
something
care
else, too.
about you guys calling relative density a scalar.
It's
or a
called
vector.
something else too, Don.
Socratic
You're
method.
just
Something
one.
is
Hold on a
perfect.
second.
I don't
Hold on a
give
second.
fuck.
Let's
I'm
talk
just
to that.
pointing it out.
Hello.
Sitting at the desk.
Hello.
At the
Look,
moment.
Mike-
everybody be quiet. The only one who's on ball and on point is Chocolate. So, go ahead, John.
My mic working?
Yes.
There's
Chocolate's
another
already-
problem using the same term with two different definitions in the same argument. Does everyone know what that is?
Yeah, it's the equivocation fallacy.
Equivocation.
It's fallacious. So there's your, everyone knows that this is common knowledge in the English language, Don. It's common equivocation fallacy. So you're going to use fallacious reasoning with us, huh? Thought you'd get by with that, didn't you? Now
John,
go get your BA in mathematics and physics and drag his disheveled ass in here, and we'll take him through the ringer.
John,
Well,
can you
we'll
help
ask
me
him
on
what
my,
mass is.
math definitions? Can you help me
We'll say to
understand
him,
the definitions of
we'll
mass?
say, what's mass?
John, can you help me
Shout out
understand
to Quantum Erasers channel. Go subscribe.
help me understand the multiple definitions of mass?
Sorry, say again, Dawn.
Can one of you help me understand the multiple definitions of mass, and we'll see if they all fit or if it debunks the whole article.
Sure, no problem. The problem isn't the definitions themselves. The problem is that there's an S on the word. Definitions is definitely not what is required when you're describing something quite specific. You need a definition. That's
But if
the
they
problem.
all work in this context,
Do
then
they?
you
And
don't
what
have a
are they,
point, do you?
Dawn? What are they?
Well, that's why I'm asking you to explain them.
Yeah, here we go. Dawn's just declared that they all work. And when I go, hold on, now it's time for Dawn's bullshit fucking nonsense assertion that he's made, having not the slightest clue any of the definitions of mass, but he's just declared they all fucking work. What are they, Dawn?
I said, tell me them so we can see if they...
Oh, I've got to tell you them so that you can make sense of your claim that they all work. You are dumb, stupid.
Horrible. Fucking horrible, Nathan.
Yeah, no, you're dumb. You've just told me that all of the definitions of mass, definitions, two, plural, yeah, that's the bit that's the problem, they all work. And I ask you, well, what are those definitions? Let's see how they work. Right, but I don't get to the end of that sentence because you start telling me I'm a horrible person.
Because you're lying.
Oh, and now I'm lying. I'm asking what the definitions are that Dawn say work, and that makes me a liar.
You're a
Do
liar.
you see how retarded you are, Dawn? You're basically stupid. There's no other words to describe what's happening here. I ask you, oh, right, they all work, do they? What are they? You're a liar. Do you not understand how retarded a response that is?
You're doing it again, even when called out on it.
Called out on what? I've asked you, who's claimed all of these definitions of mass work, what those definitions are. That's a question. And now, because I've asked you to define terms you've used, you're branding me a liar.
I asked John and you to help me with the definitions.
Oh, we need to help you with your claim that you're making, do we? No, Dawn, we don't.
Jesus Christ.
You stupid retard. Your claim needs to be backed by you, you stupid moron.
You know what? Carry on calling it a vector.
What's your
So
vector,
Dawn,
Victor?
Dawn, we didn't care about your stupid example. We cared about whether or not you understood the example you were making, and you didn't. I didn't
I'm
give
giving you
any
permission.
credence to the example you gave. None. Didn't even really listen to it. I heard you use a word, asked if you understood what it was. You didn't, so I immediately discounted every single word that you meant. Then when you come along with some help, which you've also rumpused, the guy who was trying to help you, you even argued with, yeah? You think I'm going to pay any consideration to the nonsense you spew when you don't
No
even
one
know
is
the
helping
words
me
you
here.
use and constantly interrupt when somebody clearly more intelligent than you is talking?
Help, which I need right now.
Yeah, I know you need help, Dawn. You need more than help. You need committing.
You're the narcissist, dude. I've
I'm
got
not a
few
narcissist.
problems,
I've
but
asked you what the
definitely not
definitions of
narcissist,
mass
like
are that you say
full-blown
work.
narcissism.
No, I'm not a narcissist. I'm asking the person making a claim to back their claim by telling me what the words they use mean. And for that, I'm called a liar and a narcissist.
A BA physicist
John,
and
you're practically
mathematician
storming
explaining
the
what
palace
density
gates.
is.
Yeah,
the
we know. We
arm
heard, Dawn. We heard the
as a little
citation.
farm boy.
We heard you read
With
it
a
out.
whiteboard.
And then we had a follow-up
And asked
question.
us.
Oh, getting rumpus by Arwin. Yeah, we had a follow-up question, didn't we, Dawn? What's mass? Yeah? We didn't just take a citation because a man with a badge that said physics on it said it. We also want to know follow-up stuff about it. We don't just take the words of man on a page because we're not retarded.
Well, I just googled the definition of mass, and it's not a vector; it's a scalar. So we're fine. The article's fine.
Explain
He's
how
off the
mass.
reservation, man.
Explain how mass is a vector or a scalar, and what mass is.
And then what is a
He doesn't
narcissist?
know how to fit the shit.
Yeah, that's a good one. What's a narcissist?
It's from a NASA website, so I won't read anymore.
You might know the answer to that one. What's a narcissist?
Oh, that's you. I went over the definition before on on that show when I called you out the first time.
And what was
I
it?
wasn't
You
there.
remember it?
What was it?
No.
Let's see if you
I
remember.
can get it back up on screen.
No.
I can't.
Oh,
remember
God.
what
You
it was.
know, here we go again. Here we go again. He's just used a word he doesn't know the meaning of.
What does "and" mean?
Hey, are you going to give me a chance?
You've
It means
used the
you like
word
to make-
now,
How
right?
can you not remember that if you did a presentation about it?
I won't bother.
What,
Google it
learning
if
what the
you're
word you
interested.
use
If you're
means.
interested,
Yeah,
I'll
don't
do it.
bother. Remain
You can
ignorant.
These are like signs of serious dementia. I don't know.
I know you like to white knight Nathan Owen and pretend he's not a narcissist, but deep down,
No.
if you meditate on it, you know
No.
he is the narcissist.
No, the thing is that you
Well,
literally
back on track.
can't
Back on track, Dawn. Back on
can't
track,
say-
Dawn. The ridiculous thing is, we've had this conversation 2 or 3 times. You've been here for this conversation on the definitions of mass 2 or 3 times, and now you're acting retarded, like you don't have any type of memory about those shows. We've done it countless times. I'm sure you've been here at least.
Mass is a measurement of the amount of stuff in something.
That's not even answering what I said.
No,
I said
that's
you're
a mole.
asking a
That's a mole.
question that you've asked before and
What?
gotten the answer to before and rumpus about before. We've
You're
already
right.
talked about the definitions of mass. You've already been here for it, and now
Right.
you're asking us.
Are you
the
going
definition
to be
of
the
mass.
one to
That's
help me?
ridiculous.
Okay,
And
okay.
you're wasting
Right,
right.
time.
Hold
You're
on.
wasting-
Dawn's gone and got a definition, right? But he's unfortunately got the definition of mole.
Done. Over.
Is Elijah going to help us with the definitions of mass?
You've just given us it. The amount of stuff in something, you said.
It's a measurement of the amount of stuff in something, yeah. What
That's a mole.
do you mean a mole? Oh, yeah. That's pretty much what mass is as well.
Well, do you not,
I
do you
mean-
not, do you not
I mean, a
detect
mole-
the
And you
problem?
don't
Yeah.
see the problem with that, huh,
Why
Dawn?
don't you read
That's
Let's see how long it takes him to get. Let Dawn tucker himself out. The question on the table is, do you not understand where there's a problem there, Dawn?
Why don't you read the correct definition out, Mr. Smart?
I keep asking it. Do you recognise, right, that there's a problem with it being also the definition of something completely different? You don't see the problem there? No?
Right now, I'm recognizing you're a cunt.
No, that's just calling me a name. Do you
Yeah.
recognise the
What else-
problem
what else
in
is there
having
in this
two definitions
You
mean
are
the
a
same
cunt.
thing?
What else is there? There's no point explaining why and how you're a cunt, is there? I might as well just call you a cunt.
Well, there's no need.
Hey, have them
there is
define
every
cunt.
single need. There's every need to call you a cunt. Every
Have
need.
them define it. What is a cunt?
Someone that does not care about shame and lies all day long.
Damn.
Scams
that
people on
sounds
the
like
internet.
you.
That sounds like you,
And
Dawn.
indoctrinates people away from reality.
What, like on a spinning ball flying through a vacuum, defying several laws of nature?
that sounds like the definition for shameless.
Different to that, do you? You fundy zealot.
I'm not a fundy zealot. There's been no examples made. Last time you came here, you talked about a clock tower that was a hologram, and I was talking about it just being a clock tower. Like on screen now, I say car, right? Is that car a hologram? If I was to have somebody on the panel start arguing that the car on screen is actually a hologram, yeah, I'd think they were nuts. That's what you were here last time. What about refraction? What about it not being real?
Metaphysical clock towers.
Today's show, so we might as well go over it again today, huh? The hologram argument. I see it because it's there.
Yeah, I do. Like on screen now, there's a telescope, right? Again, I'll repeat the exact thing I just said. If someone was to come on and say, that's not really a telescope, it's actually not really there, It's just being projected up from beyond a wall that you can't see. And that's why you can see it, because of refraction. Refraction means you can see something that isn't really there. It's not actually a telescope. Yeah? Now that's absurd. But when it's a clock tower at a given distance, suddenly it's perfectly acceptable for you, the fundy zealot, to assert that it's a bloody hologram. Yeah?
Disgusting line cunt.
That's your response. Yeah, I say telescope because it's a telescope. Moon, there. I just see it. There it is, moon. I just say it. Now you assert that that's... I can't really say this because Alwyn will probably pipe up. But a bloody hologram, and I'm going to have something to say about it. How are you going to prove that nonsense? How are you going to actually define a clock tower in the example we were using yesterday as not being there?
People have been happy living on a globe for nearly 1,000 years, maybe.
Appeal to consensus fallacy. So, and also a red herring fallacy. So, what about the fact that you're claiming a clock tower, that I just say clock tower, and for some reason saying clock tower when I see a clock tower is unreasonable and fundamentalist for some reason, but you saying no, not clock tower, slightly looming, non-standard refraction, hyena, holographic projection of a clock tower from beyond Earth's curve because of a reification of an R value and 7/6 of that R value being reified into existence so that it's projected up, not really there, behind Earth's curve. That's not fundamentalist zealot behaviour.
Making all of that shit up is definitely fundamentalist.
You think that is what you do? What do you mean making that shit up? That's what you do. That's what the globe heads do.
Well, that's what I mean.
I've had to concisely get it down to a breath. That's what you fundies do. And I'm going to now pull it apart, right? So when I say slightly looming meaning that it's being projected up, looming being a refractive effect described that does actually exist, but anything that we see any time ever is claimed to be looming. So slightly looming meaning projected up from behind Earth's curvature. In this example, yeah? Non-standard refraction, I add on hyena because of Tim Osman having pictures of hyenas that shouldn't be there, should be behind Earth curve. Yeah? Nonetheless, slightly looming. Again, projected up from behind Earth's curve. Non-standard refraction. 7/6 of the reified R value that gives you the sphere in the first place. That's the refraction you're talking about when you say, what about refraction? Terrestrial refraction based on the R value you reify. So slightly looming non-standard refraction, holographic projection of the clock tower from behind Earth's curvature. Absolutely a completely nonsense assertion made by fundy globe heads. Not mine, yours. I say clock tower, not fundy, just a clock tower. Because I'm a flat earther and I can just say clock tower without any explanation whatsoever being required. Non-standing refraction hyena, no. Clock tower.
There's nothing you can say vocally. You literally need physical attention at this point, Nathan.
I love how you make fun of him saying, "Oh, we see it because it's there."
And slapping, yes. For your rhetoric.
Explanation is, we don't see it because it's there. We see it because it's being magically refracted over the curve and maths and stuff. Like, you sound ridiculous.
Preaching an insane person's narcissism online.
Just a string of ad homs now.
What's narcissist mean?
Looking at something in a picture that's in the picture is saying that it's metaphysical. It's not really there. That sounds normal.
Well, I have him defined his ad hom fallacy, his narcissist.
I think, just so I can plug a show, Flat Earth Debate 16, I believe. Not Flat Earth Debate, Flat Earth UK, or Flat Earth United Kingdom, was with Thomas Sheridan. He's a subject matter expert in psychopathy. Just FYI, if anyone wants to check out what narcissism actually is, I had a subject matter expert which I had about an hour-long conversation with.
Why? Why did you do that?
I'm very interested in the subject of narcissism.
When was this?
3 years ago. Something like
that. What's so funny about that? What does 3 years ago have to do? What makes 3 years ago funny?
Nathan was investigating narcissism 3 years ago. You don't find that funny?
Well, no, I was investigating
3 years ago.
Far longer than that, but at the tail end of me looking into that subject, one of the people I was very interested in watching, amongst many others, was Thomas Sheridan. And although I was covering the subject of flat earth far more in depth than I was anything to do with narcissism, I still really enjoyed his content and wanted him on a show because I'd then got a show. I'm like, I've actually got a reason to speak to Thomas Sheridan, a guy I admire, who talks about narcissism. And I took the opportunity just because I wanted to talk to him. And my hook to get him to talk to me was having a show. So that's precisely what I did. Because I'm interested in the subject and know what it means. You don't even know what it means without a Google search.
If you would have told him I am actually one, that you would have got an even longer interview, maybe.
You know, you'd have told me if I'd have said that to him.
Yeah.
He'd have said, because he'd have said the fact that you are empathic enough to assess yourself would ultimately mean that you are not a narcissist. That's what he'd have said to me. And I'm sure even if he was watching, he wouldn't mind me paraphrasing his response. The fact that you can assess yourself for those types of, or lack of, empath. I can't even fucking get to the end of a sentence. You need a Google search to understand what this word means. I was interviewing subject matter experts on it 3 years ago, Dawn.
Anyway, moving on. Can we move on?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, in other words,
you've got this tone, Ranty, that makes me feel guilty for defending.
Understanding of it, Don. Unlike you, Don, if you can't get it through your thick head.
He's been researching and fascinated with narcissism all this time, and here he is acting like one on the internet.
What is one?
Let's move on.
See, Ranty, we can't, can we, Ranty? So what is one? Acting like one. What is one, Dawn? How does one behave as a narcissist, Dawn? As you've just described me as one. How does one behave as a narcissist? Go.
Oh, well, you have an inflated sense of your own importance in everything you say and the way you say it.
How?
Sorry, that's narcissism, is it?
That's one part. Yeah, you have a deep need for excessive attention and admiration in everything you say and the way you say it.
Really? So when I say subscribe to Quantum,
hold
on. When I say
lack of empathy,
I'm not gonna allow to defend this absolute crock of horse shit. But I'm going to give an example, something I've been saying for the last week. Subscribe to Quantum Eraser YouTube channel now. That's filled with deep-seated narcissism, is it, Dawn? Self-centered and only seeking attention for me when I say that, is it, Dawn?
That's only because you love yourself, Nathan.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Do you want to address my absolute demolition of your claim based on an example used within the last week? Or not?
No, I couldn't give a fuck.
No, you've just made up an outright lie about me and diagnosed me like you're a doctor? Yeah? So, you haven't got any equipment. You're not performing multi-resonance imaging on my brain to assess my reaction to certain stimuli to assess medically whether or not I'm a narcissist, which is what's required. But you're prepared to give a medical diagnosis of me. You complete prick. And then when I give an example, or you give a definition of what you believe narcissism is, and I piss in the face of it, you tell me you couldn't give a fuck. What about your lies and smearing of me and your medical diagnosis of me, Dawn? You don't care about that?
You're a cunt.
Yeah, now that's just an ad hominem attack. All you've got is to swear at me and make up malicious lies and diagnose me medically. That's what you do. You're the scum of the earth, Dawn.
Have an authority on diagnosing. That's
He's not gonna actually address the fact that he's claimed I'm completely self-centered in everything I do, and then within the last week I give him an example that's completely selfless, and he hasn't addressed it. He's just called me a cunt.
What, you mirrored QE's channel? For the
No,
little trailer?
I have just given you words specific that I have said in the last week that demolish your point. Subscribe now to Quantum Eraser YouTube channel. That's not me seeking attention, is it?
It's your concept. It's your concept you're trying to sell.
No, it's Quantum Eraser's content. Him and his presentations. Are you nuts?
What, Ballbusters is QE's?
He's just trolling.
You're saying Ballbusters is not yours, it's QE's?
I am not the QE channel. That's QE's channel. That's the point. Yeah, I get nothing out of promoting that channel. It's not done for my ends. That's the point.
To your other content. You
It's not
idiot.
mine. It's on his channel. I don't benefit from it, you stupid dick.
It's your show. It's your show.
So what you're saying is I've given him something. So not only is this me acting completely selfishly, right? I'm giving him a show, apparently, according to you now. It's my show that's going somewhere else that doesn't benefit me. And this makes me a narcissistic, selfish, self-centered attention seeker. Does it? No, it doesn't, Dawn. You're just a liar and you're just smearing me with utter nonsense. In fact, a medical diagnosis.
Stole the concept from Bob.
Nathan, I guess Ranty's flat.
Oh, now it's a red herring smearing. Yeah? Yeah, we made fun and light of that. Yeah. Should I now grovel at the fact that we echoed?
Dog's toys now. Isn't that what this
Nathan, I guess Ranty's Flat Earth is your show too. Since you promoted that as well in your show.
It's just a lie. It's just making up nonsense about me to smear me because
Don,
he doesn't
it's fine to have
like
an opinion
his religion
of him,
being pulled
but
apart.
asserting that as fact, especially when it's like a medical diagnosis, that's not cool.
Well,
like if you have personal beef about what you think Nathan Oakley has, take that up in DMs. Don't pollute the stream.
Turn to go to another doctor's and not Dawn doctors.
We couldn't hear you. He was rumpusing. You do that one more time, I'm going to kick your ass out. I'm going in there right now. Do it one more time. Go ahead. The last person that was talking.
Yeah, that was Emerald.
I'm ready to leave you a bunch of line cunt.
Go ahead, Emerald.
I mean, it's fine to have a... Oh, you already left. Never mind.
Did he leave?
Yeah.
Good. I don't have to go into Discord.
Anyway, moving on from narcissists.
Indeed.
Quantum Eraser, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Randy?
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. How's your new show?
It's going really good. Channel's going really good. It's a lot of work, and like I said, I couldn't have done it without Nathan's help.
I think you might struggle to get monetized, or that's the one thing that I would say. Took me 4 months to get approval, even when I met all the criteria.
Yeah, I've told him.
but the thing is, though, after 4 months,
everything's a struggle.
I looked up how to try and speed up the process, because apparently you're supposed to get monetized within just a couple of weeks or so. But if you actually harass them on Twitter, so once you've got after been there a couple of weeks, once you've got your things, I would message them the support page on Twitter and just say, hey, how come I'm not monetized yet? I reach all the criteria, blah, 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 blah. And with me, they had it fixed within like 3 days. And they say that's the best way to do it, is to contact them via Twitter and put something out there so people are aware that you're trying to get your channel monetized.
Good tip. Good tip. I remember that happening.
Thank you. That's a real good tip. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Well, it worked for me. I was waiting 4 months and heard nothing. And then, messaged them on Twitter and boom, I had my monetization almost immediately. So it seems to work.
And what's that Twitter handle?
I'll dig it up for you and I'll send it to Nathan. He can pass it on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, good tip. As I say, I remember that happening, Ranty, and you were spitting feathers, and rightly so, because you'd worked really hard to get your watch time hours to the level, and you were monitoring it, and you get in touch. Yay! I've reached 4,000. Hooray! Next day, when do you think they'll monetize me? Next day, they haven't monetized me. Day 37. Those bastards! It's a conspiracy.
It was a long time. And to be fair, I don't think they'd have moved. They wouldn't have monetized. They wouldn't have gone near the channel. They obviously had a quick look at it. They say that within the first 28 days or so, they're supposed to take a quick look at it and generally just approve you. If it goes more than 28 days, you've got next to no chance of getting monetized. But if you actually contact them on Twitter and harass them on that, then you're more likely to then get it approved. So,
but by harass, Ranty means give them a heads up. I think that's what he means.
Oh yeah, I got it. I read between the lines.
A friendly pat on the back that doesn't end.
Well, this show reached a new low. Narcissists helping each other.
Oh, the irony. Yeah, that's it. You see, if he had an understanding of what a narcissist was, he wouldn't say it. But because they don't, they just see it as a derogatory term, and they say, "Oh, well, you're a nasty person." for whatever reason they deem, and then that makes you a narcissist in their eyes with their total lack of understanding about what the word means, like with most words that these globeheads use.
Your opinions are
Again,
yucky.
how dare
know
you
what?
how
You're
dare
yucky.
you expect me to understand the definitions of the words that I use? Global logic.
Where'd
I
Anthony
know
run
most
off
days we're
to?
totally confused as to how Globers don't see how we could be flat earthers. I really don't think they're here to make a case for their argument. I think they're here to give us heart attacks.
No, I think that maybe. I think, but by doing so, there's something about it. I know it's just projection when they basically accuse us of their foibles or faults, but I think somehow in doing so, they do get some sort of stress relief from that. Us taking their stress from them, and there's got to be a turnaround point in that regard soon, where we'll just kind of will snap, but not snap into depression and anxiety, which is what the globeheads suffer. I hear that a lot, on the videos, them talking about being depressed. But I think for us, it'll be the inverse of that. So we'll snap and just not care anymore. And we'll go, oh, okay, you bloody fundy. We'll stop caring, because I think us doing that and arguing with them and trying to reason with them is actually very empathetic. A lot of us do. We say it in jest, share your pain. Well, I think there's more truth to that than we might realise.
Yes, there is. That's why I use it. And they will be getting a bill from me when this is all over.
Yeah, quite right.
And their pain is a lot more painful because we're laughing, I think.
I've got to plug it again. I'm going to do it every time. I don't care. Haunted House has got a great interview with Conspiracy Cats where he talks about just this. Oh no, what would I do? I'd just lose sleep if I was to find out it was all lies. Yeah.
Has Anthony watched that yet?
Probably not.
Where'd he go?
Add into the Skype call.
I get that. All right.
So I'm hoping to get a panelist of Globers on tonight, which should be interesting. Open up the channel for just a Globers chit chat.
Why?
So that it's a bit of equal playing field. I mean, we get a bit of the flat Earth chit chat on there, so I thought I'd open it up to the Globers too and let them have a chit chat, because we can find out their inner workings.
Very, very good idea.
Indeed.
It'll be a mental health case study.
Yeah. I mean, I may or may not watch. Gotta be honest.
Well, I mean, there's no harm in not watching. That's fine. That's fair enough.
I've just realised what it is. So basically, you're kind of stealing Jose's bit to a degree, then.
No, not at all.
No.
It's just It's just that I'm trying to be fair with the amount of presentations, so it's all equal. And then I've done a couple of chit chats with just flat earthers, and I thought, maybe I should do a chit chat with the Globers too and give them a fair crack of the whip. So it'd be interesting to see and listen to how they try and mock us and tear down our arguments. So I imagine something like gas pressure and maybe the Coriolis effect might get spoken about tonight, which is all good, because then we find out from them, from their own mouths, exactly how they feel about it. So
how they feel.
Sorry?
No,
how they feel.
Yeah, that's it. How they feel about it.
Well, we've had a force field. We've had a force field now. We've got,
did you see George, John?
No, I didn't. What's up?
Someone fill him in. Someone fill him. This is brilliant.
If I can share my screen, will it play? Will it play the music? Will it play the sound through too?
No, because you're not going to. I don't know. How do you use a desk yet? Have you got a voice meter?
No.
No, it won't play the sound.
Oh, well, maybe you could play it.
I could have a go. Let's. I've got so much screen real estate now. I'm not scared to try and play something. So if you stick a link in the Hangout, will it still show?
Okay. So I've got a timestamp as well. So let me pop this in. This is
you last night, right?
Sorry?
This is you last night, right?
Yes, this is me last night. I'll send it you on Skype.
Oh, okay.
That'll be easier. Where are we?
Yeah, George was hosting a class on gas law.
Right, so there's the
When
link.
last night, George.
Yeah, that's why. Yep, he was having a
He couldn't
lecture on
host the
gas law.
He is lecturing. What on closed services being open systems?
So I've sent you the timestamp. I've sent you a timestamp there as well, Nathan.
What was the timestamp?
1:13:28. So 1 hour 13:28 seconds.
Hour 13. 28 seconds, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pause it. Do we need to see his whiteboard as well?
If you like, I mean, it's up to you, whichever.
Okay, I'll just get it queued up. You can only get so close when you like drop in on a long video, so I've got it to within 20 seconds. I'll just let it play out without sound, and then I'll move things around.
Okay.
Hey, can you post it? Can you post it to me? I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jiggle a few things around. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk.
Well,
We have clearance.
Chocolate, did you ever go to see that Joe Rogan Vsauce? Well, I don't know what that guy's name.
So, say again?
You're cutting out, dude.
Who was that, Elijah?
I'm all ready to rock. I just need to share it with Skype.
I don't know.
Options.
Yeah, I think it was him. Something about Joe Rogan's Vsauce.
He's asking me about Vsauce? Did I see something from Vsauce? What about it?
Vsauce and
Nice
Joe Rogan,
screen,
something
man.
about it.
I'm ready whenever you are, Ranty. Do you just want me to play?
Yeah, just play.
Essentially, you have a container. It's a force field container that keeps the atmosphere, the gas surrounding the Earth, in place about the Earth.
Oh my God.
He's off the reservation, man.
Thanks, Ranty.
Force field container.
Well done.
What? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying thanks. Thanks for the clip. Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay, what's this force field caused by?
The bending of a conceptual medium known as space-time, giving rise to a non-force force that you can think of as a force, but isn't really a force. That is what gives rise to...
Is that what he said? Is that what he said? Is that what Georgie said?
No, he just kept referring to it as forces. He didn't even bring up the concept of space-time at all. And actually, that was one of the questions I asked Ranty to ask him. Why is he not talking about, the concept bending, which is causing these forces? But he's just talking about it as mass attracting mass. So, yeah.
Hey, I just posted proof on Master B that George might be right.
Oh no.
Yeah, just put it up.
Am I coming in clearly now?
No. Nice screen, Nathan.
It is beautiful.
A nice screen.
Yeah.
It's massive. Yeah, the projector's definitely worth its salt, because previously, obviously, you're just getting a bigger version of what you'd get on a normal TV screen. That's not really got that much advantage. Obviously, you've got a much larger screen, but you haven't got any more pixels. So having 4 times as many pixels, it's like it's bigger, but it's like having 4 screens. Wonderful.
Right. Hey, do you think Anthony will watch this? Is this going out semi-live?
No, this is going out tomorrow. You might watch it.
Must we call Anthony?
I would expect he watches it. Yeah. Go on.
Hey, all right, let me share my screen. Oh man, I'm only getting one screen. What the heck? Oh man.
Only I can.
All right, let me share it. Say again.
I say only I can discuss technical issues.
Yeah, I'm only getting one. Skype's only giving me one screen to share. Let's do it anyway. To heck with it. Let me pull this over. Oh, wait a second. Tell me what you see.
I see your inbox.
You do? Sweet. Skype's really trying to bone me. Trying to send me off on a wild goose chase. Get out of there. Okay. I want to send Anthony a mission because he likes these missions.
Hold on,
a second, man.
Hold on. You've zoomed in though. Did you just zoom in?
I didn't zoom in. I didn't do anything.
Okay, let me fiddle.
All right. I'll get to it. Take me a couple minutes to get to it. All right. He's all over this gravity. He's not going to get out of this gravity. He's got like an obsession with Einsteinian and Newtonian gravity. So I'm going to give him a bone to chase down. Where'd you go? That's not it.
Can you
Where
stop,
you at?
Can you stop sharing and start sharing again? Because it's gone a bit weird.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of
all
sharing.
Right, 1 second.
Half of your presentation box. Only the left side.
All right. All right, I stopped. Let me start again. Yeah, it's only giving me one screen. This is really weird. Okay. I just shared again.
No, it's still gone weird. I mean, it's good enough, but where you've got gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as a force, end quote. Where the end quote is, that's as much as the screen it gives me. Yeah, where you're pointing now. That's the end of the screen. Yeah.
No problem. Let's try this because I'm going to go here. We're going to Caltech. How about if I pull it in a little bit?
Yeah, then
is that better?
It's now not sitting on your screen though, is it?
I'm fine. I can see this.
Okay, I'll stick it up. Hold on a second.
Or do you want me to go back out to full screen?
We'll tolerate it as it is.
Okay.
I just need to size it. I just need like another 60 seconds.
Yeah, I do too. I need to find the spot where I'm looking for. So, there it is.
Yeah, that looks good enough.
All right, Anthony. This is from Caltech. Okay, this is one of the references I use for my citation that gravity's not a force. And I was reading this because somebody said I was cherry picking, which is nonsensical. But I came down here and I read this, and it says, listen to this, Anthony. It says, Einstein also replaced the Newtonian law of motion by the statement that free test particles move along geodesics, the shortest curves in space-time geometry. This is gold for you, man. You'll be gone for like 3 months. Let's get this guy's name. Jacob Bekenstein from Caltech. I mean, this ought to do it for you, brother. Einstein also replaced the Newtonian law of motion. And it has replaced. They can't get these guys can't get around superseded. But try to ask them what replaced means. So let me read it again. Sorry. Einstein also replaced the Newtonian law of motion by the statement that free test particles move along geodesics, the shortest curves in space-time geometry. That you can thank me later, brother. Wow. Chase this down, man. Say again? Somebody say something?
Final nail in the coffin. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Because
final nail. I buried Einstein like 12 years ago. Oh yeah, this is also good. When people bring up Einstein's theory, ask them which one of the 10 equations are they talking about?
Please define
ask
replace.
That. Yeah, because Einstein has 10 field equations. right? None of them speak. Here's another important point if you weren't paying attention to the gravity presentation, that none of his equations can be solved by applying two or more masses. It either works with one mass or a completely empty universe, right? The law of superposition doesn't hold with Einstein's equation. And how in the hell, see, you're going to get me going. How the hell do you have equations in a scientific theory? Can somebody explain that to me?
Well,
Anyway.
they think hypothesis and theory is the same thing, so.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter anyway. How can you have a hypothesis equation hypothesis?
Exactly.
It's nonsensical, but let's not lose sight here. Sorry, I started rambling. Einstein also replaced the Newtonian law of motion by the statement that free test particles move along geodesics. See, this is really good. This is gold for you, Anthony. I mean, and here's the name again. Ready? Jacob D. Bekenstein. So go ahead and email him. Let's see if we can't get him on the show. Because this statement, this got some cowbell. I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty interesting if Mr. Newton's laws of motion are getting replaced out here. Serious implications.
We should get
I
I
already showed before on the presentations before that Richard Feynman said that the laws of motion of Newton were not right. Right? So this is just
And
just
I've heard you
extra.
say
I gave
that,
this
but now there's another citation. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So there you go, Anthony. That's my early birthday present from me to you. Okay? Thanks. I can stop sharing, man. I know it's painful.
Brilliant.
Well, they can't replace it here on 3D. They have to go to 4-space to replace it.
Yeah, you might need to restart your computer or something up with your Skype sharing. It just looked a bit wrong. It's all right. It was good enough for government work.
They sound like Arwen.
All right. Let me take this down. What the heck is going on here? Yeah. So when is this show going up?
Tomorrow.
Oh, damn. I was going to plug my show today.
You can plug it. It'll be plugged tomorrow.
Yeah, but the show will already be over.
What, light is a particle?
Photons are particles, yep.
Oh, sorry, you got the title wrong. Photons are particles. How long is that one?
That's a good darn question.
It's only a short one. It's like 15 minutes, isn't it?
Oh, it's not even. I don't think it's that long. It's pretty short. Yep.
Right. It's good to have a mix of short and long videos, and the ones that you've populated first, the ones that you've got out first, the ones in the info box in your links. So at the moment, when you press the links, they take you to the premiering stream, but obviously you want them to actually be videos, because there's going to be various videos that you say, if you click the info box, well, you want that to actually work.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it will do. It's just, you can't, obviously, if you bombard people, if you put 5 videos out at once, one of them might be successful, but you've just got to stagger them a little bit. So it's just, you just got to take your time a little bit in that regard. But you've got them scheduled. You've got, what, 6 or 7 more scheduled?
Oh, I got more than that. I got them scheduled up through the first week in September. So I think September 2nd or 3rd.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's ace. So yeah, you've got material every Tuesday and Thursday, and you've got more to come. Great.
Hello. Yeah, his I had about 20. I might be exaggerating, but I went on YouTube and I had 1,000 videos from QE scheduled from the rest of this month in September and all this. So yeah.
I wonder whose idea that was.
I was just like, holy shit.
Was that a couple of days
He's
ago?
on the ball.
A couple of days ago, yeah?
Yeah.
The machine.
Yeah, I mean, it was about 10 videos that got scheduled all at the same time, but it was mainly because you've got to balance it out on a week that you're launching a channel, people are going to be reasonably sympathetic about having their subscription feed fill up with, you know, multiple videos once. In other words, you could get away. Sorry to talk about you in third person, QE. You could get away with it. You could get away with it once because someone like you just chuckles, "Wow, that's a lot of material." But if you do it over and over again, it's going to start annoying people, and they'll literally unsubscribe because you're bombarding their subscription feed with videos. But you did it. But the purpose was so that when you go to the Quantum Eraser channel now, it's a properly populated channel with content on the homepage, playlists with videos in them. You know, there's actually only 3 videos on there in reality, but you've got to have, you know, a certain amount of content for the page to look like it's actually active at all, which it now does. And, you know, all the stuff that's set to premiere will eventually come out. You know, it's just going to take maybe a month for all of those videos that are appearing on the Quantum Eraser channel to actually be active rather than set to premiere. But once that's happened, there'll just obviously be a ticking along schedule every Tuesday and Thursday of videos coming out regularly.
It's not that's really sweet, man. I'll just wait. I'll wait for a couple weeks because I don't want to bombard them again, like you just said. I'll just wait, and then I'll pick up a schedule where I just schedule, you know, a week in advance, where there'll be 2 coming out. So give them a break.
Well, what I would suggest is every day or every other day, just schedule a couple. Because no one's going to get fussy about you sticking a couple of videos out set to premiere for a week's time or a month's time or a month and a half's time or 2 months' time as you get further and further down. But I'd just, like I say, I'd just get the ones that you've got done, get them scheduled, but just don't do them all at once. In other words, just...
Oh, I got you. I got you. I'm tracking with you now. Yeah, don't do them all at once because it'll bombard them. Yep.
Yeah, 5 minutes a day, just do 2. And then, you know, next day do another couple. But no one's going to object to that.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, just gotta pace them out.
Yeah, there's an upload. There's an upload schedule. I suppose it is an upload schedule. What comes out, what's actually published, is every Tuesday and Thursday on the Quantum Eraser channel, 8 PM UK, 2 PM Central. Really? That's so
every
exciting.
Tuesday and Thursday, those are going to be live shows.
No, the live show will be when Ballbusters goes live on a Saturday.
Okay. So this is going to be like a reiteration of Science for Scientism and all that. Ballbusters.
No, not just that. I mean, there's going to be a lot of material from Cathexis, from Robert Bassano, toe tags. It's going to be a lot, not just the science versus pseudoscience.
You've added a lot of...
That's good though, because then you got one place you can go and find everything. Because I still go to Cathexis' channel when I want to watch one of those old ones, and then I'll go to Ballbusters, and I'm all over the place. So if it's all in one channel, that's good. Like
if you want more to get in monetized, you'd be better off taking those videos off Nathan's channels or having them on set to private Nathan, because otherwise it'll just look like re-uploads from somebody else's channel, and they'll just say, well, it's not your own original content, we're not going to monetize you.
But that's unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's me.
Yeah, that is the case, Renty. That may very well be the case, but that's just the way it is. You know, the content that does come out that potentially could be monetized thereafter will just have to be the content that's thereafter, if that is the case. But obviously, you live in hope that that won't be the case.
Okay. Maybe I would suggest maybe doing a few live shows, chit chats between whoever, just to have some original content on there.
No, I totally agree. I've set Anthony to task to get QE set up with OBS and all the rest of it. So yeah, I completely agree. We're way ahead of you. We're of like minds, Ranty.
Yeah, I think I see where you're going with that, but it may look like that superficially, but those videos that are uploaded, it's me. I mean, there's other people on there, but it's me.
Right, but I think, isn't he saying that YouTube might say, oh, well, you've already got that video monetized. Now you're going to put the same video on another channel monetizing it.
It's not the same video.
Oh, okay.
To be perfectly honest, it doesn't really matter at this stage as he's not monetized.
So it's the subject matter, but it's not exactly the same.
Anyway.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
You're right though, Ranty. Got to be a certain amount of unique material that's produced live on that channel, but there already is. You know, there's already a live show that was produced on that channel,
and there'll be a bunch of them by the time we get to that point. That'll be the Ballbusters.
Well, you can just picture it, Ranty. You know, there's a show that comes out on some despicable scumball channel where they let someone like George Netanyahu rant on forever and ever about some nonsense. and John will want to go live and moan about it.
How dare they?
Correct the wrongs.
Despicable channel indeed.
Right,
cool. It's good. That's good though. It gets me thinking. Thank you. Not thinking about George. He's not coming on my show, so not thinking about that.
Why, you don't want to attend one of his lectures on gas law? What's the matter with you, John?
No. No. I'll wait for the book.
How long was it, Ranty? Did you say 3 hours?
2 hours 40 minutes in total.
But he introduced the force field. How would you not want to get down with that?
Can we get the terminology correct? The dome field. George Netanyahu.
No, he said force field though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm calling it. Dome field.
All right,
George's dome field.
George's dome field. Priceless.
He mentions it at least a dozen times, so it's not like it was a one-off.
Well, he needs the wiki parroting Pretender Clan Muppets to repeat what he's saying, doesn't he?
You need to debunk it, though.
Great. So he's going to have everybody running around talking about a force field now? It's great.
Yeah.
Terry,
we like it because
hold
all
on.
those crayon munchers will start parroting it. I love it when that happens.
Hold on. Ranty just said we've got to disprove it. Okay.
Well, I wonder if hang on, wait a minute. I wonder if how do rockets get out through this force field, though?
What force field?
The dome field.
What dome field?
The dome field that George said's real.
What dome field?
The dome field.
What, suddenly there's a dome field, is there? Because George says so.
Well, he has letters.
Yeah, you have to hit.
Go on.
No, you go on, Ranty.
Oh, no, he said, well, he has letters after his name, so it must be true.
Oh, right.
Who's got letters after his name?
George has.
George does. What letters? Dumbass?
Degree. 2 masters.
What letters? Dumbass? Jeez, oh man.
Hold on. Let's see his credentials then, Ranty. He just said he's got 2 what? Doctorates.
He's got 2 masters. He's got one in electrical engineering and one in maths.
How much did his parents pay for that?
Hold on.
No idea.
Spare him the ad hom. So not science then.
It's not science. What's he in this discussion for?
Well, when you lose gravity and bending of time space isn't real, you have to come up with a dome field.
Zanuck, do you agree with the dome field?
Is Zanuck in here?
Do you agree with the dome field, Zanuck?
I'm always here. I'm always watching. Always.
Oh my God, Nathan! This guy. I turned on. Hold on a second. I turned on Friday Night Fights. They have this little video thing going from 24/7. It's really cool. And guess who arrives at Friday Night Fights? Zanuck. With every single argument we debunked and laughed at him at, he brings that back up on Friday Night Fights. Zanuck, you have the intellectual honesty of Milli Vanilli. So, what are you doing, sir? What in the world?
Of Milli Vanilli.
Is that all you got?
Yeah.
See,
what the hell are you doing?
Where should we start?
What are you doing?
Where should we start? Name one.
Where should we start your little friggin' infrared photo? I seen you bring that crap up. We jacked that thing yard in less than 10 seconds.
You think you did, but what did you do really?
Oh, God. Give us a break. You know what, Zanuck? You're nice. I like you. You're really polite. But when I seen that, I said, you're a real friggin' scumbag. right?
Wow, that's kind of hard, don't you think?
You are a scumbag. You have
That's pretty
no
hard.
intellectual honesty whatsoever. None. Zero.
Intellectual honesty.
That's right.
Really? Is that the term you want to stay with?
Yes.
Can I have a citation?
I don't need citation. I have demonstration. You're a new star on my show. Did you subscribe to QE Quantum Eraser channel?
I would think so. If I didn't,
Yeah, there's a bunch of videos coming out with you in it, brother. You're a new star. You can thank me later. You're welcome. So let's speak to that, Nathan. A number of not only gravity, a number of different subjects that we just pounded this guy on. He brings them back up as proof on the Friday Night Fight show.
My favorite is like the pseudo force that creates a force, and then you guys start giggling uncontrollably in the background. And I just
Force due to gravity.
Why the definition?
Yeah, it was due to gravity. Gravity is not a force; it just causes a force.
Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. So you got it, but most people don't really remember that.
Yeah,
that I said.
Zanuck, you're the only Glober who says that.
Gravity
You
force, and I keep
realize
on
that.
saying it causes a force, and there's a difference.
What's pseudo mean?
But
Pseudo means.
Here we go again.
What does it mean? What does pseudo mean? You
Means-
said that the
means
pseudo
fake.
force gives rise to a force. So what does the pseudo bit mean?
The pseudo means an apparent, or depending on your frame of reference, and you understand what that means. I know because you've used
That's
that
what pseudo
terminology.
means. That's not what pseudo means. That's not the
Well,
meaning.
pseudo force is not that it's a fake force. It just means it's a force in a
Don't
different.
tell me what it's
could be
not.
in different direction.
Don't tell me what it's not. What does pseudo mean?
Why
If you
it's not?
fix
Because
pseudo,
in a non-inertial frame of reference, the force is very real. But from an outside,
you keep telling me about
inertial
this
frame of
force.
reference,
You're not
it will-
listening, Zanuck. You're whistling past it every time. I've said it 4 times. What does, if you affix pseudo, what does that mean?
Are you looking at scientific definitions or Webster's dictionary definitions? Let's get this straight first.
I'm asking you.
No, I'm asking you.
You
why
use the
shame me
word.
for wanting to level the playing field and understand what you're trying to ask?
Okay, I'll ask a different question. Why are you obfuscating this question so much?
Because I know you're asking the Webster dictionary definition of a word and a term, and there's a difference between a scientific definition and the Webster's definition.
I don't care which
I don't know if you
definition. I haven't asked for that. That's not what I said.
There's two
That's a
definitions.
misrepresentation. So let's see if I
No,
can try
you
that
can't
once
take
more.
2 words.
And now
You
you're
can't just
talking
take
over
2
me.
words and add
So
them together.
my second question's more pertinent. Why are you obfuscating this? I'll try and ask it again because that's not what I asked. I didn't mention Merriam-Webster. I didn't mention science. I said, when you, given that you use the word with pseudo as a prefix, when you use the word with pseudo in it, what does that mean?
It means it is a force that is real in a non-inertial.
That's not what pseudo means. So you're just wrong. Okay, Zanuck? Let's draw a quick conclusion to this. You're just wrong. You don't know what pseudo means.
Give me a reasoning why that's wrong. Don't just call me a name or wrong.
You just said pseudo means force. Well, that's not what pseudo means. You're just wrong.
Please correct me.
And then you said pseudo means a force that is real.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Literally the opposite.
Don't tell him. Just we don't need to give him an explanation. If he's thick, like retarded, stupid, and doesn't understand what the words he uses means, I'm not going to educate him. I'm just going to tell him he's thick and wrong. That's not what pseudo means, you thicko. Yeah, laugh it up, thicko. That's not what pseudo means. Clearly, you've got an intellectual dishonesty problem, or you're dense. I don't care which, and I'm not here to educate morons. You, Zanuck. That is not what pseudo means. Now, either go and look it up, you blithering retard, or stop making claims that use words you don't understand. You think pseudo means force. No, it doesn't. You're wrong. You're stupid. So go and look it up. Don't ask me what it means. You used it, retard. So don't use words that you don't understand, retard, because that makes you held back cognitively. Retarded!
Ask me again, but ask me nicely, because right now
You're a prick. I don't want to ask you anything. I know already because you've defined it for us as a force incorrectly, that you're stupid. Now, if you're going to now tell me that you found out that you're incorrect, first I want a concession from you, not you asking me to ask you nicely. I'll just demand that you accept that you're a retard and have had to go and change your definition, having described it as a force, because you're wrong and stupid. Ask me politely if you can continue in this conversation, retard. Ask me nicely.
I'd like to continue if you'd allow me.
No, I won't allow you. I'm saying you can't continue in this conversation until you accept that you are fundamentally retarded, having declared that pseudo means force, which it does not.
I never said pseudo meant force.
Yes, you did. Now you're just a liar. You're a liar and a retard.
Play back the tape. Play back the tape. I said...
Yeah, I asked you what pseudo means, and you started blathering on about how it's a force.
Pseudo force is a force.
Sorry, you think pseudo force is a force? What does pseudo mean?
Fake.
Oh, so fake. So you think a fake pound gives rise to a real pound? A fake dollar gives rise to a real dollar, do you stupid retard? No.
Neither of those have their own definition freestanding.
I don't remember seeing a fake pound in any science book.
Yeah, you just said pseudo means fake. And I'm saying if you've got a fake pound coin, you think, in your example, that a fake pound coin will give you a real pound coin. A fake force will give you a real force.
Yes, fake.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but the word pseudo-force as its own unit has its own definition.
And what does that mean?
It means that pseudo might mean one thing, and force might mean one thing.
What's a pseudo force?
Together, it's its own word, and it has its own definition.
Just answer my question. What's a pseudo force?
A pseudo force is a force that is apparent in one reference frame and not in another, depending on whether it's non-inertial or not.
And does that mean it's real?
It means it looks like it is for one frame, but it doesn't look like it is from
Sorry,
another.
looks like...
It's dependent entirely on the reference.
Not dependent on. Looks like sounds like a word that just could be summarized very clearly and concisely with the word no. Not real.
Well, looks like in the sense that you can...
Yeah, you're saying it again. I don't need you to repeat the shit I've just heard. No, it's not a force.
You can measure it.
Am I not coming through clearly? Let's just tap this mic. Is that clear? Listen up, you fundy fucktards. Pseudo force means not actual force. Not real force, not real. Fake! Not real!
Alright.
Nathan,
find me the dictionary definition that tells me that.
Sorry, do you want to tell me how it, again, how it looks like it's real? You fucking moron. It's not real. That's why the word pseudo is in front of it, you complete blithering retard.
It's synonymous with inertial force and D'Alembert force. Do those imply fakeness?
What does apparent mean?
Real?
Yeah, apparent. As in, not actual.
Right.
Not real. Apparently there, like this clock is apparently the same size as a tanker. That's an apparent size. It's not actually the same size as this tanker. It's much, much, much bigger. But it's apparently the same size in this photo. Not actual. That's what apparent means. Pseudo. Not
then perhaps I'll change my
Are you
wording.
hearing me on FM? Maybe tune in a little bit clearer. Twiddle that dial.
Is one
Listen
that in a
to the
non-inertial reference
words.
frame has a measurable impact on the motion of objects, but does not have such impact on objects' motion in an inertial reference frame.
What's an inertial reference frame?
One that is not accelerating with respect to another inertial reference frame.
So when you're not
which one's that?
Sorry, you go ahead.
So,
Kiwi.
for example,
No, go ahead, Nathan. Sorry for stepping on you. I got breakfast.
No, you take this, Fundy. Honestly, you have him.
I got breakfast coming, man. It could come any second.
No, these Fundies are 10 a penny. Honestly, you have him.
You have him.
So yeah, not actual.
I thought we were talking about what's an inertial reference frame. Now we're bouncing back to that.
It makes no difference. It's a pseudo force. Pseudo force is the word. It's a not actual force.
Yeah.
Yeah, not actual.
That's what you keep saying. You don't have any citations for that, other than taking half of the word.
Yeah, I've got the prefix pseudo though, haven't I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yeah. So do I need to cite it when it's got the word pseudo attached in the word?
Nathan, don't
pseudo
go ahead.
force, also
Disappoint has the
called as a
prefix dis.
fictitious
That doesn't mean it has
force.
anything to do with the word.
Why don't they
point
just
and
call
dis
it?
together.
Why don't they just call it an actual force then? Why do they call it a pseudo force instead of just
They also
calling it?
call it an inertial force.
I hadn't finished my
There's
question.
other terms for
I
the same exact
hadn't
thing.
finished my question. If it's an actual force, like it can hold things or push things, why not just call it a force? Why attach this pseudo bit? I don't get it.
Because an actual force would affect all reference frames.
Oh, so it doesn't affect all reference frames.
Only affect non-inertial reference frames.
Nathan, it's simple. One depends on the other. There's a dependency that separates the two.
An actual force, you'll see an acceleration everywhere. No matter what reference frame you're in, that object is being pushed by something.
So then a pseudo force is not actual then.
It's only in the non-inertial reference frame. Because if you go in an inertial reference frame, you'll see that there isn't one.
But it says it's an apparent force in that reference frame, so it's not a real force.
Right. It's an apparent force because it only.
Apparent.
Oh,
not
so that means it's not real.
actual.
If it's apparent.
What is this dick not getting? Yeah, apparent, not actual. Yeah, in the same way as the ball that you throw up on a roundabout appears to curve away from you. Yeah, that's an apparent curve. It's not an actual curve. It might appear from the non-inertial reference frame like it's actually curving, but it's not. Not actual.
Oh, it is.
Apparent, not actual. What part of this aren't you getting? Not actual force. No force involved. Not real. Not actual. Apparent. Not real. Pseudo. Aren't these words sinking in, fundies?
Fictitious.
I know scientific terms are very confusing for you, Nathan.
No, they're not. I'm not the
Fictitious.
slightest bit
Pseudo.
concerned.
Fake. You yourself, Zanik, called it fake. So now you're going to tell us that
That's the
fake,
definition.
something that's
pseudo
fake
meant
can be
fake.
real?
Pseudo means fake.
Yeah, pseudo force.
And when they put that word in front of force, what does that mean? Fake force or real force?
No. It means a very
No?
real force, depending on the frame of reference you are in.
He just said it means a very real fake force, depending on what reference you're in.
Truth or All gave you a specific definition that went right over your head. It said it depends.
On the reference frame, yeah, and I qualified it by saying you're on a reference frame that's non-inertial spinning and you throw a ball up and down. The ball goes up and down. That's a fact, yeah? But there's an apparent deviation. It seems to curve. Now that's a not actual curving from the non-inertial reference frame. There's never ever going to be any curving in this equation whatsoever because there isn't any. It's just an apparent curving, a not actual curving. Yeah, that's what apparent means. And in this example, we've got a not actual force.
It is funny.
You're right in that you're right.
You're damn right I'm right. I know I'm right. So when Zanik says I don't understand, I do understand then.
Can I finish my sentence?
No, because I'm right. There isn't any force. A non-force, pseudo-force is never going to give you a force.
The qualification on that.
Tell me how a non-force, a pseudo-force, gives rise to a force.
In a rotating reference frame.
Don't ask me something. Explain how a non-force, not actual, apparent pseudo-force gives rise to a force. Go.
In the sense that objects accelerate in that reference frame.
No, I'm not accelerating now. I'm not doing anything now. I'm just sat here.
Do accelerate relative to that reference frame.
We're not suddenly throwing things into acceleration. I just want to know how
that's exactly what forces cause is acceleration.
Right, no.
But why is it described as an apparent force that affects objects in that reference frame and not an actual force? Why isn't it still described as an apparent force?
Because an actual would occur in all circumstances. Pseudo
So that would make it actual.
There's a dependency. Hold on. There's a dependency on the frame of reference. I don't know how much more clear we could be about this.
I mean, the term pseudo-force is just one synonym for the thing. It also can be called inertial. I think it makes more sense to call it inertial force because it depends on whether you're in an inertial frame or not.
Bingo. Right on. That's the exact problem we have here.
It's also named after this strange French guy. Like,
so
there's
an inertial
to
force
describe the same phenomenon.
But how do you measure?
Bingo.
How do you measure this inertial force then? How much pressure would it place on something?
Whatever it takes to accelerate.
That's exactly what things like quantifying the Coriolis force do. Like
the Coriolis force is not a force. It's an apparent force, like the apparent curve I keep describing. It's not curving. It only seems to curve.
Of an object undergoing this, you'll see a curve. Like if you were to.
No, you won't. You won't actually have any curving. Don't you get it? Not actual. The ball goes up and down, not curving.
For a moment. Check with me for a moment. You're in a rotating room, right? You stick a coordinate grid on the floor. Say you stick, vertical lines, horizontal lines. You mark where you want 0 to be. You now have set up, a coordinate system that's basically stuck to the room that's rotating. If I were to throw a ball, it would appear to me like it's curving. But if I were to chart the shadow of that ball on the floor, it would also correct. But the actual position of it relative to that reference frame is also following a curved path.
But what? It's not actually curving though, right?
But the ball is curving, and it's actually
not actually
so tell me.
Relative to
So
that
tell
reference
me,
frame,
tell me. Given that we've got actual forces, how do you measure the actual curve that it takes then?
If what you mean by actual is from an inertial reference frame, then hop out of the rotating room and chart its motion, and it'll be a straight line relative to that.
So it doesn't curve then.
Right.
Curve in one reference frame, it does.
Oh my God!
No, it doesn't. It never curves. There is no curvature. It's just thick. He doesn't understand. It's too complicated for you. You need to go away and understand not actual forces, what pseudo means, and in this case, you don't understand inertial frames and non-inertial frames of reference. You just don't understand. You're too stupid.
Not a fan of patting myself on the back, but I do understand how this works.
No, you don't. You're too stupid to understand it. Go away and educate yourself.
True.
There's no actual curving going on, is there?
Not in the inertial reference frame, there isn't. You're right.
No, there isn't any actual curving. There's no actual curving. No.
Yes, the pseudoforce isn't never curving, and it's not always curving. It's curving in certain situations, and that depends on the reference frame.
No, it's not!
You fucking retard. There is no actual curving, you complete retard. You don't understand reference frames.
You are curving.
Emerald. Give QE what he needs. Tell him about the non-inertial reference frame. Tell him you can actually plot the curvature in that non-inertial reference frame.
There isn't any curvature, Zanuck. You're just fundamentally retarded about not actual. Not actual deviation. It's not curving. It's going up and down in a straight line. It's an apparent curve.
That straight line will only...
Yeah, that straight line. In that one breath, he concedes our point. So no curve then!
Only in that reference frame.
No curve! Only a straight line. You don't get it. The apparent curve that you think you're seeing is a not actual curve.
Got a problem.
What you're describing is beautifully describing the behavior of that object from the inertial reference.
Wait, Emerald.
If the behavior, it goes up and down.
Wouldn't it appear to curve in both reference frames?
Wait, who's this asking?
If it was actually curving, wouldn't it curve in both reference frames and not just one?
In general, yes. If you manifest a curve in the inertial reference frame that exactly cancels out the rotation of the room, then you'll only see it in the inertial reference frame. But in general, if you have an actual force, it'll appear in both inertial and non-inertial reference frames.
Oh, well, we don't have that scenario, so we obviously don't have an actual force then, do we?
Okay.
So what is just described is basically our point. So we don't have an actual force then. So this not actual apparent force or deviation, this pseudo force, is never going to cause anything.
Yes.
No, just because it's not an actual force in the rigorous definition of an actual force doesn't mean it can't cause anything. In the same way that you can't feel yourself pushed to the edge of a car when it turns, it can still cause things.
Oh
to happen,
my God! Here
even
we
if
go
it's not
again.
manifesting itself as an actual force.
He just repeats the same shit, different week over again.
Did he say that you can't feel you going sideways when the car turns?
Don't take the bait.
Yes. When you're smashed against the door on the outside of going on the outside of a turn, that is a centrifugal force, i.e. a pseudo force. The door holding you in is a centripetal force, real force.
The car moves in front of you. It turns its position relative to your being pushed forward. So the car moves around you. In order for that to happen, you've got to have things happening and changing directions. Yeah? In the case of the ball, the ball just goes up and down. The ball just goes up and down, and there's no actual curving. Not actual.
Yeah, exactly.
So you
and
don't agree
Emerald,
that
you said
centrifugal force is a
rotating.
pseudo
What's
force?
rotating?
The car.
The car's
The car-
rotating now. So we got
car's
hot tubs and
rotating.
cars rotating, according
Because we're
to you,
talking about
Xanax.
centrifugal force. Okay, let's talk about
Yeah.
a ball on a string. Ball on the end of a string.
Yeah, this whole string of
ball
nonsense
on
doesn't
the
get
end of
us
a string
any
spinning around your
closer
head.
whatsoever to them describing how we can have a non-force, something that's apparent, something that's not actually happening, just an apparent force, giving rise to a force. We haven't had that explanation. Just got a load of obfuscation. Now we're on the merry path down, something talking about rotating and non-rotating reference frames. Where's the force that's a not force that gives rise to a not force that you can think of as a force? How's that causing things?
People always mock what they don't understand.
I do understand. I understand the word pseudo. That means fake, according to you.
Or mock morons.
Yeah, we understand that you have a not actual force, and we want to understand how something that's not actual and fake causes something.
How many times have we got to deconstruct this?
You haven't
quicker every
deconstructed
time.
it at all.
How many times have we got to
I've
do
made
it?
We have made
you
it
guys
very
need to
clear.
construct yourselves.
We've made it very
That's
clear.
true. Thanks,
We've
Chocolate.
made it-
Yeah, you're right,
No.
Chocolate.
We've made it very clear that a pseudoforce has a dependency on the inertial reference frame.
You've made it very clear that a word that you clearly say means fake means real. So yeah.
Because you don't. I can't help you if you can't understand the difference between the definitions from Merriam-Webster and a scientific definition.
Okay.
So something
Inertial
that's not
force.
real
Use
has a
that.
Whoa, whoa,
Use the-
whoa, 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 whoa,
Use
whoa.
use the word inertial.
What makes a hold on, Xanax? What makes a definition
Okay.
scientific?
A term
Rather-
that describes a scientific phenomena.
Rather than just your regular old everyday term. What kind
I
of
just told
special
you.
powers are endowed
I
on
just told
this
you.
to change the meaning of friggin' words?
I just told you.
What?
There's a term that happens to have words in it that don't. You can't add them together and get an equal meaning.
Oh,
Or you
really?
define
Citation, please.
Of a pseudoforce versus pseudo.
No,
plus
citation, please, of your scientific
what
words.
do you want a citation for? What do you want a citation of?
Citation for your definition of scientific words. Right frigging now. I'm tired of your bullshit, Xanax. I'm just
Let me
sick of
find
it.
it.
I'm done with it. You just
Me
make
too.
shit up.
Me too.
You just make shit up. That's all you do. You're an Elmer Fudd sophist. You should be picking up cans along the side of the road, supervised. And you think you're a friggin' intellectual. In fact, give me into Discord. I'm going into this. I've had enough of your shit.
Don't ban Xanax. I need him.
What? Yeah. What? I'm just talking with you, Kiwi. I'm not
I'm
arguing.
sick of you.
Just mute
I'm
him.
sick of
and
your
I'll
Elmer
mute him.
Fudd bullshit.
We're all here talking
Don't
about the
ban 'em.
world around us. Why can't we have the discussion? What's the big deal?
Okay, fine. I'll carry on the conversation with you. Let's just say I concede on right here, right now, and say
Can't carry
fine,
on.
Fine, you've got a non-force, right?
You
Because
can't
it-
carry on.
Okay, fine. The other guy. What was the other guy? Emerald. Still here?
Yeah, Emerald's still there.
So you've got this non-force, which I'll concede for you now. So okay, fine. You've got a non-force. Where did you get that non-force from? The non-actual force. Silence.
Yeah, you're without your wingman, Emerald. Come on, can you stand on your own? So I thought I've just had it with him, this Xanax character. I couldn't believe that he was on that channel bringing that same shit up. I don't know. Is this a disease? We need a new ICD-10 code for this.
But
I
try
mean-
to keep him on mute so I can talk to him after the show because he's good practice for the flat earthers.
He's a good punching
I mean,
bag.
he's a well-spoken guy. for those, he's a well-spoken guy for those that don't really follow the show or the conversations that we're having. But when we listen to him talk, like when he's talking about this inertial versus non-inertial frame stuff, it's like we can spot where there's a problem. And it's like, they're just like, no, F that. This is what that means. And we're like, yeah, but there's a problem with that. And it's like in every single instance, whether it be gravity or curvature, there's always that spot, that glaring spot that we see that they don't. I don't get it. And I'm really going to have.
Well, we know he gets it because we've told him. So it's just flat out intellectual dishonesty.
It's cognitive dissonance. He can't accept it. It doesn't make any sense for these people. You go and read what Gaspard C. Coriolis, the guy who even came up with it. I've been reading on this. It's nonsense. It's pseudo.
No, the Coriolis effect. No, the Coriolis effect is real. You can go on a roundabout and show the Coriolis effect.
Yes,
right?
That is true. But they can't do that with the Earth because it would need the two separate reference frames. And your Charlotte, North Carolina plane example destroys that.
Exactly.
Sure, but the not actual deviation of the ball on the roundabout when you throw it up and down, they're claiming that effect, which is actually the bending of a conceptual medium to begin with, they're saying that effect gives rise to another cause of things, a force. It's preposterous.
Right, they're on the conservation of mass now. I think all these guys, they hear it and they just parrot it, right? They just parrot the phrase. They have no idea with what they're talking about. None. Like I said, just Elmer Fudd sophists. They should be picking up cans alongside of the road, supervised, in parentheses, not on their own. And they come in here acting like intellectuals. They're friggin' pretender clown lumberjacks is what they are. I'm sick of it. I don't care how polite you are.
In normal language, if the Earth is spinning underneath you, then the Earth is spinning underneath you, underneath the airplane, the bullet, everything. They have to go to these weird sentences to avoid the easy language that I previously said, because then it doesn't work, because it would spin under anything that's free flying, and it doesn't, like the merry-go-round does.
Yeah, I heard I think it was on that same show. I think Jim Panda. What a fucking moron that guy is. Anyway, yeah, somebody said Coriolis effect.
He shows up there every week now.
Yeah. I'm going to get on that show and friggin' hammer him, but I've just been too busy. Somebody brought up the helicopter. So why doesn't it might not have been on that show. Somebody brought up, the helicopter. Why can't you just hover in a helicopter? Somebody said conservation of momentum. And they think they answered it with that. Well, okay. So we have a helicopter on the equator, right? And it comes up off the non-inertial reference frame. The conservation of momentum would say that helicopter gets thrown to the east at 1,037 miles an hour. Right?
Backwards.
Yes, exactly. But all they say is conservation of momentum. You freaking clowns. I don't know, dude. Maybe I need a vacation.
No, there's cognitive dissonance. Big time.
Oh, Xanix's back. Somebody saved him. I think I know who saved him.
You should definitely show up one day on the Friday Night Fights.
I brought him off. He's off mute. He's off mute. Somebody resurrected Xanax.
He's not off mute. He's on mute.
No, he's not. He's off mute.
No, he's not.
Okay.
I just took him off mute. He's on mute by his own volition.
That backward motion.
Oh, here's Emerald. Funny, Emerald doesn't talk until Xanax comes in.
A few minutes, so I had to.
Xanax. Emerald. Why are you talking? You didn't talk while Xanax was gone. Now you're talking. Are you Xanax?
No, I missed what happened last 5 minutes.
Okay, let's carry on where we left off. So if I was
Ask your question again.
if I was to concede that you've got this not actual force, not the I'm going to go backwards, not forwards. So not the next bit. I'm not going to ask you about what it gives rise to, but where did that not actual force come from in the first place?
The fact that there's underlying rotation, or really just any like acceleration that causes it to be non-inertial.
Gravity we're talking about.
Was the question what gives rise to the apparent force?
Yes.
Right, and that would be the underlying acceleration that's causing the reference frame to be non-inertial.
My understanding was it was the bending of space-time.
Not in the case of all pseudo forces.
No, I'm talking about gravity. That's the second time I've qualified that with you.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's okay, just try to listen. So, we're talking about gravity, and I'm asking, given that we're describing the not actual force that comes from it, what gives rise to that not actual force? Second time I've asked.
Best I understand is the motion along the geodesic causes it to move toward the direction of slower time passage. And in that case, to us, it appears to be moving closer towards mass.
Oh, the geodesic. Yeah, we just went over that. Moving along the geodesic, that which disproves Newton's laws of motion. Do you mean that one?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's well known that Newton's laws of motion to generate linear gravitational masses and at relativistic speeds.
It says it replaced Newton's laws of motion, son. Sorry about that, Nathan. I know I'm red herring you.
Yeah, you are a little bit. That's okay. It was relevant to, you brought it up literally only on this show, so that's fair enough. But so, would you say that a reasonable, concise summary of what you just described would be the bending of space-time?
Sure.
Space-time is a conceptual medium.
Correct.
What does conceptual...
We've defined it to be bent
Excuse
in certain
me.
places.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What is conceptual?
As a concept?
What does that mean?
Derived from other concepts, built upon some axioms, predicates.
Abstract!
Sure.
So relating to or based on mental concepts, not actual or real concepts then?
Sure.
So this isn't real. So this isn't real.
How can you bend or dilate an abstraction?
I mean, bending or dilating the abstraction is fine. Applying that to reality is what requires, testing and making sure that it matches.
Okay, how do you? Oh, it's fine. How do you?
Sorry, hold on a second, John.
Sorry.
You said it's okay to bend a conceptual medium, but there might be a bit of a problem applying it to reality. We're
correct.
discussing.
And that's why the theory requires.
I hadn't finished my sentence.
Okay.
So, this not actual force is brought forth from the bending of a concept. That's not real. So, we've got something not real being bent to give rise to a not actual force. Is that correct so far?
I'm venturing to say yes. I don't.
It's yes. You, the fuckwit fundy zealot religitard ball worshipping moron, is telling me that a not actual force that, when we go forward from this conversation, is apparently going to give rise to an actual force. Yeah, that is brought forth by the bending of an idea. Do you hear me, Fundy?
Yep.
Right. This isn't real, you stupid, fundy zealot. There's no actual force, there's no not actual force, and there's no medium. This is a concept. Not somewhere we live, not somewhere we exist, and definitely not something that's going to give rise to a force. Do you understand? Say, yeah, I understand that my whole worldview is just a bloody concept. Say it.
I'm
I mean, not
sorry, but forgive
necessarily.
me. This is
You're right in that
delusional.
to reify
I'm sorry.
space-time
Please
as the
forgive me.
actual vector-
This is delusional insanity.
Ooh.
There's no other words that I can come up with. Sorry. Go ahead, Emerald.
You're right that saying we live in that 4D metric space that's bent isn't correct. That would definitely be a reification. But to use that metric space and its bending to describe the motion of objects, I think is fine, so long as it accurately describes how objects really move in reality.
It's not reality. What part of this didn't you understand when I just said it with absolute disdain and venom? This is not reality, and the bending of a concept isn't going to cause anything.
What if I accurately
Right.
describe it using
all of that is just a
unicorn
conceptual
farts?
explanation.
Would that be
Hold on,
Things appear.
chocolate.
Hold on,
All
chocolate.
that is just, mathematical mumbo jumbo that attempts to describe and predict how things will move. The only merit it really has is the fact that it matches reality's, observations of how the motion happens.
Wrong.
We don't
You're
live
wrong.
in 4D metric space.
You're taking an effect, right? Everyone knows what the effect is, and you're conjuring up this dreamland fantasy that it's the cause of this. It's delusional insanity. That's all you got. My word, you ain't predicting anything. You know what a scientific prediction is?
Please do enlighten me.
It's a hypothesis. Do you have a hypothesis?
Right now on my desk, no.
No, you said that it predicts. Sorry to go off the subject. We'll bring it right back, Nathan, I promise.
Okay.
A scientific prediction is a hypothesis. You said predict. Nostradamus predicts. The carnival tent mystic Meg, she predicts also. Or are we using the same context for the prediction here?
I would say no. I mean, a prediction
That's
in the
right.
sense that given some initial conditions, you can predict the outcome of some state, some period of time in the future.
That's a hypothesis. You need an independent and dependent variable for a scientific prediction.
Yeah, how do you validate
Sure,
that
I mean,
prediction?
we can, and some people would argue that the passage of time itself is one, and some people would argue that it isn't. I don't wanna get
Passage
into
of
the
time
semantics
is
of all
one
that,
what?
but in general, that's the context that I'm talking about predictions in.
The passage
Saying
of
that
time
you can take
is
the position of some object in the sky.
the
or whatever
passage
you
of
wanna
time
say.
is one what?
What's that? Repeat the question, please.
You said the passage of time is one. One what?
Independent variable. I said some people consider it to be, some people don't.
Oh,
You
God.
can't.
I'm gonna.
Oh my God. Go
Number
ahead,
one.
Nathan. Sorry.
Number one, you can't vary time.
You're
Number
right.
two, time is also a concept.
You're right. I didn't say that I believe it is. I said
You just said it was one, and when asked what one is, you said independent variable. That's what you just said.
yeah.
Yeah, so number one, religitard zealot moron. You can't vary time! You getting this down? Get a pen! Number two, it's another concept! Get it down, write it down, you stupid dick.
I never said that I believe time is an independent variable. I said some.
One what? That's what he asked you. Were you not listening again? Are you dumb?
And I clarified what I meant by the word one.
Let him say it
doesn't-
again. Go ahead.
to
I may
be
have
fair, he
interrupted
did
you.
say
Go ahead.
some
Complete
people-
the sentence. Wait a second, Chocolate. You said that the passage of time was one, and then you kept going, and I interrupted you because I wanted to know what one it was. So go ahead. Finish that statement.
I said some people believe that time is one, and some people don't. I didn't say that
Okay.
I personally believe that time is an independent variable, because I know with given this environment, it'd be a very problematic thing to claim. So I'm not going to claim that.
What environment?
In this room, given present company.
like
Why would
that.
that be?
It would be problematic because we disagree on what qualifies as an independent variable, what qualifies as science, and what doesn't. But that's beside the point that we're talking about right now.
Well, this is. I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you again because you used the term agree and disagree. Agree and disagree are subjective, right? Opinionated context. In science, we're focused on the objective. Agree and disagree have nothing to do with this subject.
Right, and in science, you're right. Agreeing and disagreeing is subjective and beyond the point. But talking sort of meta level here, what qualifies as science or not, that's where people get into spats and disagreements about things.
With natural science, what is natural? Nathan, do you want me to go down this train of thought,
I would honestly
or
prefer if we didn't go down this.
Did I
and stayed on
completely
topic.
red herring fallacy?
No, not at all. Because he said prediction, and if you've got a claim that what you're predicting in this pseudoscience reification of a concept being bent to give rise to a not actual force, then what's the prediction validated by? I think that was Chocolate's question. Well, is it validated by empirical method, or is it a mystic made prediction?
I would say people have taken a given initial state. They said, something's at this location going this velocity. Objects are in, some initial amount. Variables are set to some state at time t equals 0 or something like that. People then plug that into the equations for general relativity, and I'm not sure, exactly which ones they use or how they apply them, because again, I'm not a relativistic physicist here. But then they find out as time progresses what that system of equations, what that framework would predict the location of the object to be in the future. They then see how that matches up with reality. That's what I consider to be. I mean, whether that's strictly scientific or not, I consider that still a prediction.
Emerald, is conceptual logic false from the start?
Okay, hold on. So how is it just going to be an affirming the consequent? How do you validate whether or not your prediction was correct?
You compare the expected position and velocity of things to where they actually end up.
What things would they be?
I mean, depends on the experiment. I mean, if I were to test, the theoretical downward acceleration of 9.81 meters per second, I could drop an object from a certain height, wait exactly, t amount of seconds, and then see where I think the ball would be theoretically, and then compare it with the ball is, actually.
Okay, then
It's
drop
like
a helium balloon and tell us the same thing. I'm sorry, I interrupted you again. I want you to drop a helium balloon. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
All right, hold that thought. Someone's calling me right now. I'll be right back. And
It doesn't need to hold the thought. That's where your argument was demolished with one sentence.
Oh yeah, the whole thing is nonsense because you have to have a hypothesis first for a prediction. So they don't have that. Their prediction is Mystic Meg or it's a post-diction. They already know what's going to happen with a ball. They've done it trillions of times in history. So that's not a prediction. It's a post-diction of an effect.
Sorry about that.
It's a post-diction of an effect, and it doesn't hold true for everything, right? You don't have a hypothesis.
Emerald, what's conceptual again?
We already covered this.
Go ahead, Emerald.
Where were we when I had to leave?
I'm just because
wait a second. Helium balloon.
Okay.
When I drop the helium balloon, it doesn't. You said fall at 9.81 meters per second squared. Is that what you said?
Or no, not all objects fall like that. That was just
Okay, there you go.
Contrived, simplistic.
Well, there you go. So that's the end of your prediction.
So
your predictions failed.
Okay,
so your predictions failed immediately.
Well, no, I gave you a simplistic.
You gave me a
example.
prediction.
That example doesn't.
Drop an item, 9.8 meters per second squared. Failed.
Not all objects. Are
I haven't finished. I'm repeating what I've said while you've talked over it twice. Yes, mate, it failed. Did you not just hear Quantum Eraser ask you to do that with a helium balloon, and then you literally say that what you predicted was wrong? Did you not just see that happen? Did your brain shut off while you were saying, oh, not all items drop at 9.8 meters per second? Yeah, did you forget that you literally said...
Given assumptions of
yeah, so you have literally, with your own words, defied your own prediction then?
No, my prediction was referring only to the ball that I dropped in that one example. I didn't apply that to all objects because that's not what I
How could you extrapolate this out to everything then? So you're saying your Fundy belief in
So you have to
gravity is
consider the
true?
medium as
I'm
well.
still talking! Look, Fundy, we get it. We've shown you the contradiction. And now you're saying it only applies to a ball. So what, should we apply this to everything in our world then, if it only applies to this ball? Hello? Does it only apply to a ball, or should we apply this to everything in our world?
Applying a strict 9.8 millimeter per second deceleration or acceleration downward to every object? No, of course not.
Oh, well, why would you say it then?
I didn't say it. I said it applied to the ball when I gave a simple.
Oh, so we don't apply it to anything other than a ball. So your example here is specific to a ball. What use is that to us when we're talking about the world we live in? Just go away to a ball forum. Excuse me.
You asked for an
Excuse me. Go away to your little bouncy ball forum and talk about what balls do. We're interested in the nature of reality, and it seems this is only applicable to a ball that you drop.
No. You asked.
No. You've just told us it is just applicable to the ball you drop. You lying fundy.
I'd be glad to do so.
So it's not applicable to everything, and only applicable to the ball you've dropped then. Take your time, fundy.
Will you allow me to clarify?
You did.
Will you allow me just
You
like a
did
minute?
clarify. You said it's only applicable to the ball that you dropped. I asked you to clarify. You have clarified, and you've pissed me off royally because you made it seem like it was applicable to everything, and now we find out that it's only applicable to the ball you dropped. Your words, your clarity, you fundy, rumpusing twat. Yeah, you gave us clarity. It's applicable to the ball you dropped. Only, isn't it?
Yes, of course. I gave you a.
Oh, so who gives a fuck? Why don't you piss off to a bouncy ball forum, you stupid moron? We're interested in the nature of reality. You're interested in what bouncy balls do.
Wrong. You asked me for an example of a prediction, and I gave one.
Yeah, we're talking
you're sort
about
of blowing
gravity,
up
aren't
the
we?
context.
Oh, what's 9.8 meters per second per second? Is that bouncy ball law? Hello, fuckwit! Is that bouncy ball law, you stupid dick?
No, of course not. Why?
Oh, so it's gravity, something claimed to be applicable everywhere then? So I'm pertinent in my point. Hello?
Hello. Are you insistent on having a debate here, or just continuously mocking?
Oh, I'm ripping you a new asshole, you stupid fundy, with your own stupid words.
I understand what my words were, and I...
Yeah, and it's only applicable to a bouncy ball, not our entire world, my friend. Smashed when asked to do it with a helium balloon. Suddenly you made your example only specific to a bouncy ball forum.
What did you ask me for a theory describing the motion of everything? No, you asked me for...
Oh, so gravity, what's that then?
The more precise example of the motion of more things, precise including the helium balloon, is the fact that you have to consider the medium as well. The helium has some weight, but the air it displaces has more weight, so the upward buoyant force is greater than the downward force, which means that it'll accelerate upward, as do pretty much everything that's less dense than air.
Oh, you didn't use the word gravity once in that explanation. You just described relative density without using the word gravity once.
Okay.
Well, we're talking about gravity. You don't seem to be keeping track of the argument. What you do seem to be doing is confirming that relative density is real and gravity isn't needed in that last statement.
Well, not necessarily. And this gets...
Not necessarily, that's what you just said. You didn't describe gravity in any way, shape or form. You quite concisely described relative density.
Except that it doesn't actually work, because relative density isn't a vector and forces are vectors.
So what the hell does this have to do with gravity and your fundy belief in a non-force force
gravity...
giving rise to a force that's not actually a force when you bend a conceptual medium and have a not actual effect? What's this got to do with it?
Cram into a certain volume.
No, you're just talking over me. What's this got to do with gravity? Your fundy force that you're trying to prove here.
The fact that the force is there at all shows that there's...
What force? The force that's applicable to your bouncy ball. It's not up there all the time. Didn't we just go over this?
It is. It's...
Oh, what, in your bouncy ball? Or applicable everywhere? We got clarity on that now, didn't we, Fundy? Only applicable to your bouncy ball,
Nathan,
remember?
You're doing it again, Nathan. You're being a lying cunt again.
No, not being a lying cunt. I'm taking a giant steaming shit on this guy's religious belief, Dawn. That's what I'm doing. Yeah? Not some ad hom-ridden nonsense that you're going to claim I'm doing. I'm pointing out that he's got a pseudo-force, hasn't he? Where's that pseudo-force come from? Well, the bending of a conceptual medium. And how does he qualify it? Well, when he drops something. That's what he's saying, Dawn. I'm just highlighting the absurdity, Dawn.
When you leave the therapist's office, it's supposed to make you think and not act like that, at least for...
No, but a projection. I'm not leaving any therapist's offices, Dawn. Are you another one of these global fundies with depression?
Okay,
did you hear me?
can we
I'm
not
not
try to
leaving
diagnose
any
each other
therapist's
with, like,
office, Dawn.
depression or
Dawn.
narcissism or
I'm going to
otherwise?
ask you a
Let's
direct
be
question.
frank.
Dawn.
I don't think any of us are medically qualified.
Just stop talking to him and he'll go
It's
away.
right, he wants
He's
to be a
lying.
doctor. He's stupid and thinks he's a doctor. So, Dawn, are you in therapy right now? Do you have depression, for example?
I think that's a personal question.
Yeah, I know.
that-
He's just accused me of being in therapy. And I'm saying that there's a very high likelihood that that's projection. That actually Dawn is in therapy. And I'm asking for clarity if that's the case or not. Are you projecting, Dawn? He's rumpusing a lot.
I don't think either of you should be inquiring into the other's mental status.
I didn't. Dawn did. Now I'm asking if he's projecting his mental illness onto me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm asking if he's projecting it onto me because he's just accused me of walking out of therapy sessions.
Yeah, I'm saying about this guy that say, no, that's a personal question.
Advice
Doesn't
is
matter.
stop shouting at people, stop being a narcissist, stop lying.
You don't know what a narcissist is. I'm not lying. I'm taking, for the second time, a giant steaming dump on this guy's religious belief in a fundy force given rise to by the bending of a conceptual medium known as space-time. Yeah? I'm taking a dump on that.
Religious belief. You're the one denying reality, like a little hippie commune cult. That's you, dude. You're the fundy.
No, I'm not denying reality, Dawn. I'm denying the bending of a concept. Yeah? Something brought forth from someone's brain. Not reality. Concepts. That's what I'm denying. That's where your world lies. In concepts.
You brainwashed other people to deny reality for 4 years as well.
I'm not denying reality. Didn't you just hear what I just said? I'm denying the bending of a concept.
You still do it. 30 minutes later, I catch you doing
Talking over me constantly now. Yeah, I'm denying the bending of a conceptual medium. That's not reality that I'm denying. I'm denying your religious fundamentalist zealot belief in the bending of a conceptual medium.
Science, all evidence that suggests a globe.
Dawn,
You're
can you
saying,
can you prove space time?
I must have made it up.
Hey Nathan,
Can you prove-
give me
fundy,
Nathan,
you're
give
a
me 5.
fundy fella.
Hey Nathan, give me 5 minutes. I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay.
If you lived in my town, we would egg your house once a week on schedule.
I know you would. You're a bully, as opposed to somebody with intelligence who could win this argument.
Well,
You'd egg my house.
That's why we'd egg your house, because you're a bully online to people.
Yeah, that's what bullies would tell themselves. While they're egging the guy's house, while they're egging the teacher's house, they say, "This man's the bad guy." While they're egging, that's because you're retarded. You've literally just said, "I would egg your house because you're a bully."
And the way you talk back to me while I'm calling you a lying cunt, I would slap you.
So
in the
then,
street as
Dawn,
well.
why don't you just destroy his argument? Why,
you can't.
why are you attacking him?
All he can
Just
do,
destroy the argument.
All he can do is call me a lying cunt and tell me that if I was to challenge that, his ad hominem attack on me, he'd slap me, he'd physically attack me. That's what he's just told me.
Hey, can we hear from the dynamic duo of Dawn? I mean, Emerald and Zanuck? Like this Dawn argument is not going anywhere.
I don't think we want to
It's
have
the
a
same
name
thing you
calling.
keep saying since the beginning.
Be doing the hologram argument, wouldn't you?
I would agree with Righteous on that.
We found out the cause. He's bitter that he lost the hologram argument. That's the reason he's gone like this.
No, that wasn't a force.
That's
I
kind of
didn't fall
sweet,
over.
Dawn.
Oh shit! Ow! Ah!
You seem to be swearing a lot, so I'm gonna have to shut you up. So
Thank
that's
you.
really
Zanuck, is
sweet,
your mic
Dawn.
working?
Well, I looked up in this little brief moment.
It doesn't look like it's working.
Are you talking to me?
Yes,
Okay,
it's
so it is working. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed
Zanuck.
your conversation with Emerald. You guys should continue that maybe.
Hey, Zanuck, you know what an antonym is?
Yes.
Okay, you know what the antonym for conceptual is?
Imaginary.
Real. The opposite. Real. The opposite of imaginary. You're in the
Yes.
unreal, imaginary, conceptual sci-fi world. The antonym is real, empirical,
What's your
concrete.
point?
We're asking for concrete, empirical, real evidence of your claims. Please come out of sci-fi world.
Yeah, we're just trying to help you, Zanik. We're trying to point out that your world's a sham, fake, not real, pseudo, and our world, flat Earth, is real. You don't have to like it. It's going to be a struggle for you. I know.
Okay. I think we're talking about pseudo forces and definitions. Now we're going into another subject.
Yeah. Just reality in
Because we
general.
try to
Your
explain
reality is based in pseudo and not actual and apparent and all those kind of words. They're kind of littered throughout the heliocentric model, aren't they?
Well, I know the dependency word. The word dependency. Do you know what dependency? Elijah. Do you know what the word dependency means? Do you know what the antonym of dependency is?
Go on.
Independent.
And?
So when you have a pseudo force, it's dependent upon the reference frame. Simple. It's very simple. I don't know why it's so hard to understand that.
Yeah, man. We're tired of listening to you talk about your pseudo this and your not
Okay,
actual that. Pseudo clock towers that are really not there. Holograms of stuff that we can actually see. Must be hard though.
A false force that's dependent on the reference frame. That doesn't even make any sense.
What's that?
Pseudo force, false force, dependent on the reference frame. If it's false to begin with, what are you trying to say?
You're saying that there is a force that is very real in the non-inertial reference frame.
Did you hear the
But then
conversation?
why do you
It's
address
fake,
it? You call
but
it
you
fake.
can think of it as real.
Did you hear the conversation we just had though with Emerald? Were you listening to that, Zanik?
It's the only force that is dependent
Not a force.
upon the reference frame.
Not a force. Did you not listen to the conversation just a moment ago with Emerald? Did you not listen to that?
Reference
He's
frame,
not going to let me finish my sentence.
Very real. You can
He's never going to let me.
I'm
going to count them. Every time he interrupts me from now on, I'm going to count them. That's one. Did you just listen to the conversation between myself and Emerald?
I did.
And did you understand when we got to the point that the thing that causes this not actual force that we're now discussing is the bending of a concept?
Not in all cases, no.
No, in this
you
case,
talk about Coriolis
specifically,
force or centrifugal force.
It's two.
It's independent of.
It's two. In this case specifically, Zanik. In this case specifically, it's the bending of a concept that gives rise to this not actual force that we're now discussing with you. We're
talking about the force due to gravity.
Yeah, I'll say it again. It's brought forth by bending something that somebody just imagined. Something not actual, not even real. It's a concept that's being bent to give rise to that not actual force.
It's not a concept of being bent. It's a concept of something being bent. There's a difference.
Yeah, a concept. That's right. We're in agreement then. So we both understand, Zanik, that what's happening is something conceptual is being bent to give rise to a not actual force. We both understand that.
You can't bend the concept.
That's correct. That's correct. You can't bend a concept. The way to go. Welcome to Flat Earth. This happens a lot. I am in no doubt that you'll bugger off to another channel and not be intellectually honest and admit that no, you can't bend concepts. And when someone claims you can, they don't give rise to any forces.
So we're talking about the effect, and then we're talking about, now you want to talk about the cause.
The cause
that's
is
fine.
the bending
As
of
long
a
as you know
conceptual
your
medium.
years.
Yeah, that's what causes this not actual force.
Well, yeah,
bending
we can
of a
talk
concept.
about the cause. I thought we were talking about the effect.
We were. You want to talk about an effect that's a not actual effect. And I'm saying, what gives rise to this not actual effect? Well, a bending concept is what gives rise to this not actual effect. And that's the third time he's interrupted me. Third time. Obviously very triggering for a funding. Third time he's done it.
He always
Third
does
time.
that. He always does that, Nathan.
Would you stop it? I think Emerald gave a very good
I was still
description
talking. I was still talking. So I'll try again. Fourth time. Let's see if it happens. So, what gives rise? Yeah, the cause of the effect that you like to argue about, the not actual force that we say can't do anything. Yeah, the cause of that is the bending of a concept. Something not actual, not real, something just dreamed up in someone's head. And according to you, Zanik, you can't bend concepts.
That's true.
Right. So you can't bend concepts, and your not actual force is brought forth by a bending concept, mate.
What concept are we bending?
Space-time.
I think Emerald gave a pretty good description of how this happens. I don't agree with the term bending a concept as being an accurate description of what's happening.
I'll walk you through it.
Well,
Space-time is a concept.
Concept. That's what he describes it as.
I'll talk you through it. Space-time is a concept, and it's claimed to bend. There you go. Was that clear enough?
Well, define concept. What's a concept?
They're not real. Brought forth by someone's brain. That's fifth time. Fifth time he's interrupted me so far in this conversation. Fifth time he's asked me to define something, and when I start, he interrupts. Yeah, not something actual then. Something brought forth by someone's mind. Something you can't bend.
An abstraction.
So we're all clear then, Zanik. So your not actual force that doesn't cause anything is brought forth, the cause of it, by something that can't cause anything. So you've got something that can't cause anything being brought forth by something that can't cause things. We're all clear on that?
Yep. Crystal.
Excellent. Why would you ever believe that gravity is real?
Because I see its effects.
No, you don't. Its effect is a not actual force. The cause of that effect is the bending of something that someone dreamed up, a concept. So I'll ask again, why in God's green earth would you ever believe that gravity is real?
Because when I drop something, it falls at a predictable rate.
Well, it's got nothing to do with the bending of a concept now, has it? Yeah? So that seems to be a red herring, ham-handed segue away from what causes the not actual force you argue about here so often. That being the bending of a concept. Concepts you make clear can't be bent, and I want to know why in God's green earth you would believe gravity is real, given that it's brought forth by the bending of a conceptual medium that you say can't be bent, and that gives rise to a not actual force. Why would you think any of this is real?
Well, concept is an idea, right? You can't.
Yeah, we can't bend ideas, Zanik. So ideas bending giving rise to not actual forces. And you think this is real, friend?
I don't know why I'm entertained when you give me these definitions, but they're pretty funny.
Yeah, I think they're stupid and they're brainwashing 99% of the Western world, including you.
So you agree that space-time is an abstract idea?
That's what it is.
The definition of a concept. It is a concept, right?
Right. That can't be bent, according to you, right?
Now we're talking about bending the concept. That's just an incorrect way of looking at it.
No, that's what it is. It's a conceptual medium called space-time, and according to Einstein, when that medium gets bent, it gives rise to a not actual force called gravity.
I'm trying to think of an analogy that best describes what we're talking about.
Don't need an analogy. We need you to explain why you think this is real when we've made it painstakingly clear that it's a conceptual medium being bent to give rise to a not actual force. Why would you believe any of this is real with all these words like not actual and pseudo?
Well, because I can have a concept such as centripetal force. Keep it simple. But I can't bend centripetal force. I can't change.
What about space-time? Can you bend that?
What's that?
Can you bend space-time? Another concept.
You can't bend it, but it does bend.
It's not a real thing. It's a concept. The concepts don't bend.
How about freedom? Can you bend freedom? That's a concept.
As soon as freedom sprouts a four-dimensional coordinate system that can be.
Narnia. It only works in Narnia with these guys. Zanik, you see the effects of something falling. You immediately go to concept, which is not real, rather than entertaining equilibrium and disequilibrium. Why do you not entertain some other answer for the falling?
So what is your idea? What's your answer for why things fall, or the force that is created by
What's falling?
going down?
What are you talking about? We're not talking about things falling.
I think we were. We're talking about
No,
gravity.
we weren't.
That
we
talks
weren't.
about things falling.
See how easy the fundies get off track? No, we were talking about the bending of a concept called space-time.
We were talking about pseudo forces. Now look where we're at.
Yeah, pseudo forces like gravity.
Yes.
Yeah, pseudo forces like gravity that aren't real and are brought forth, the not actual force of gravity that is, by bending a concept. And we want to know why you would think this is real and fight so doggedly to tell us that it's real when it isn't. It's the bending of a concept to give rise to a not actual force.
A concept that you yourself said cannot bend.
So we're going to have a semantic argument about terminologies.
Yeah, that's what semantics is, words and their meanings.
So pseudo force, well, it's very significant when it comes to pseudo force. Don't you agree?
I don't know what that sentence means. I just know that you believe in a thing called gravity being real when it's definitely defined and made clear by even the people who invented it in their mind as being conceptual.
A pseudo force,
That's right. Pseudo, not actual.
depending on the frame of reference. Dependent.
Bending of a conceptual medium called space-time.
Maybe I can give a new definition: a dependent force rather than pseudo force.
It doesn't really matter because it was defined
That's
by a
kind of
man
what
called
that's kind of what a
Einstein,
neutral force
not by
means,
you.
is you don't
You see, the
understand
problem
what
with
a
that
neutral
is just
force-
making up an ad hoc explanation that you came up with isn't relevant when we are under the nonsense of Einstein. That would be the more pertinent thing to discuss, as nobody cares what you think. 98% of the Western world, or 99%, depending on how many flat earthers there are currently, think Einstein has described an actual force that can hold gases onto a sphere. Now, that's just not the case. It's a not actual force given rise to by the bending of a concept. It's definitely not holding any gas on, that's for damn sure.
Well,
I
if
mean,
gravity,
in the same way that swinging a bucket around keeps the water on the bottom of the bucket. There's not an
And-
actual centrifugal force. That's
Really?
pulling it outward,
And what would
but
happen if you
it
took the
still has
sides off that bucket?
This guy.
Yeah.
Are you
same
kidding?
reason the helium balloon goes forward when you put on the brakes in your car.
Wait. So water in a bucket is equivalent to water on top of the earth.
No, not equivalent,
That-
but similar in the fact that centrifugal force.
Oh,
is
it's
in the
similar.
force.
It is.
So
Where
might assume
where's
that
the
because it's
container
pseudo
for the
force, it can't
water
have
on the
effects.
earth?
No, if
It's
it was
not
similar,
similar or wrong.
we'd live in a
It's the
concave reality, wouldn't we? With the bucket being analogous to Earth, the water's forced to the outside. Well, unless you're claiming we live in a concave Earth with the
Does that
water
have
forced to
an
the
effect,
outside,
sir?
then no, it's not analogous at all.
So why does the pressure go down with water as you go deeper?
Why are you asking us? We're waiting for you to concede that gravity's
Well, I'm
just
helping
made
you
up.
think through that.
Well,
helping you
we don't
think
want to.
through
I know we've all gone on to different subjects because there's been lots of awkward pauses and fundamentalist contemplation. I still want to hear it. Why you believe it's real? Gravity isn't real.
Really?
made
So
up.
well, let's talk about how a barometer works because that really throws.
No, I don't really want to hear you squirm onto a different subject. I'm really enjoying this because we've got more and more concise. About, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I described these arguments as being like going down a drain hole, like a plug hole, and they get faster and faster as they get to that plug. Well, this is what we're now. We're whipping you around at a rate of knots about gravity not being real. Really concise in our demolition, with just a bit of fundy rumblings as we sum it up each time. Yeah, it's not real. And we want to know why you think it is. Gravity, that is.
Mainly because of the observation we can make every day.
There is no observation. It's the bending of a concept. Are you not listening? Yeah, let's whip this circle round again. Let's go round that drain hole.
See, you can use analogies, but I can't.
Not an analogy. A description of a concept coming from Einstein.
So we have cause and we have effect.
Cause? Yeah, we got cause. Bending of a concept, mate.
Now you're going back to cause again.
Yeah, let's whip it round real quick. Down this plug hole gravity goes. Yeah, the cause, according to Einstein, is the bending of space-time. Now, space-time's a concept, and you can't bend concepts, and it definitely doesn't cause anything. That's the cause, mate. A non-cause that doesn't cause anything,
He's
but
not-
apparently gives rise to a non-force of gravity. In other words, this whole thing's nonsense. It's all made up. It's not real. It's all pseudo. And we want to know why you think it's real.
Ding ding knock.
I'm trying to think. We need an analogy for that one. You can't. You're trying to bend the concept.
He's not bending.
I'm not trying to bend a concept. No. You are, Fundy. You're trying to bend that concept to give you a non-force of gravity.
By non-force, if by non-force you mean pseudo-force, then
Yeah, that's right. Pseudo, not actual. Fake. That's right. Thanks for that, Emerald. Nice little input there. Yeah. Your bending of a concept gives rise to a fake force. That's right.
not the bending of the concept, bending of
Yeah, bending of space-time. That's a concept.
Unless, of course, you can prove space-time is a real thing.
No, it's not. It's a concept. Conceptual medium.
I
He's just
agree,
wrong.
but
His
these guys are
interjection was
stupid.
just incorrect and fallacious and incorrect. No, not a conceptual medium, you say, Emerald.
you do. When you say you don't bend a concept, like
No, I'm saying back your bullshit. You just said no, not a conceptual medium. Is that the case?
did I say that? Can you quote me
Yes.
saying that? Can you
Yes.
put you back?
Yes, you interrupted with an objection when I pointed out that a concept's being bent. So, I'll say it for a third time, Emerald. So, space-time's not a concept, hey, Emerald? Fucktard, retard, moron, dickhead. Incorrect. Go ahead, tell me how it isn't a concept. Fucking
The
moron.
concept that space-time applies to our reality was conjured by Einstein. That space-time
Conjured? What's that word? Conjured?
can be.
Conjured? Conjured, you
Yeah,
say?
I'm using your own rhetoric now.
I didn't say the word conjured. You definitely did. So conjured, you say? So definitely not real, not actual, fake, pseudo, made up, not real, conceptual then, Emerald. Yes?
Sure.
So the bending of a concept gives rise to a not actual force, Emerald. Yes?
The bending of the mathematical construct of space-time gives rise to a pseudo-force.
Right. So why the fuck did you interrupt me and tell me no? I'll say it again. Why the fuck did you interrupt me to tell me no? When actually, yes!
To make the distinction between concepts like freedom and concepts like mathematical constructs. They're different things. One of them can be diffeomorphed and manipulated in a mathematical way, and the other, like freedom.
In a mathematical way? What about in a reality way?
Well, gravity bends.
Not you,
time.
Zanuck. Shut up. In a mathematical way, I couldn't give two shits about. What about in an actual way? Can they be manipulated like that, concepts, that is? Like bending them, for instance.
Well, the argument being made by...
Can you bend a concept, yes or no?
If you don't let me elaborate on my answer, then I might as well not even try.
Well, fuck off then, you stupid fundy zealot. You can't bend a concept. Go on then, piss off. Yeah, go on, rage quit.
Nothing.
Losing the argument, my friend. You can't bend a concept. You've objected on the basis that I've said you're bending a concept. That's what's happening, and you're saying no.
Right. I'm saying I'm saying you're right that in general you.
I'm right. Excellent. So why the fuck did you interrupt me?
Because mathematical concepts.
I don't give a shit. Are you deaf?
Gosh.
I don't care about bending mathematical concepts. We are talking about the nature of reality, and you're talking about how it's okay to bend mathematical concepts. No.
Yeah.
It's the bending of a concept. Not real. It doesn't give rise to any force. That's my point. And you're interrupting me to say no, so that you can tell me how it's okay to bend mathematically. What a red herring. A fallacious interruption. Who the hell are you?
I don't know, just about everyone in this forum who does the same thing.
So,
sounds like a lot of straw manning there, Emerald.
Shall I carry on then, Emerald? Your objection being absolutely pissed all over. No,
Yeah, sure,
it's
go ahead.
definitely the bending of a concept, giving rise to a not actual force. Maybe you'd like to interrupt me again and tell me it's not a concept.
Nah, I don't want to go down that rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
you're damn right you don't, you stupid fundy, because you're wrong. bending concepts isn't a possibility. You can't bend concepts.
proceed.
Like, you don't need to give
There's
me
no sense
permission,
in
mate.
slinging ad homs.
No, you are
I
retarded.
couldn't
You
care.
interrupted to tell me that no, it's not fair to say that you're bending a concept.
Wait a second. What ad homs? What ad hom? What ad hom? You charged him with ad homs. Which one? When?
Yeah, things like stupid, things like retarded, that aren't necessary for making his point.
That's not an ad hom.
Attacking me personally instead of my argument, I'd call that an ad hom. Especially
He's
when it
just
takes
got.
place.
Oh my God!
Just got done ripping your argument to pieces. You interrupted because you said it was unreasonable for me to say that bending a concept. That's what you interrupted
Awesome. The
me
response
for.
to that is your interruption was fallacious, and you got that part in, but you also included so much fluff, like personally calling me out as stupid. That wasn't
He's
necessary. That was
destroyed your argument for the past hour, step by step. That's not an ad hom. What's an ad hom fallacy?
I'd say about 10 minutes of the last hour was spent actually constructively destroying my argument. The other 50
Oh,
of it
you
was
would.
extra fluff that consists of nothing.
You
but
would,
conversation.
huh? Can you validate that?
An ad
Prove
hom
that.
fallacy is where you don't address the argument.
No. An ad hom fallacy is where you attack the person instead of the argument, and that's what
Yeah, and
you did,
he's
Nathan.
just-
You know you damn well did.
Sorry, it's just made it absolutely clear that I've just
This
spent a
guy
considerable
showed
amount of
back
time
up.
attacking his
Oh,
argument.
Yeah,
hasn't
calling
he?
him a moron.
I said
Fuck
you-
with.
Sorry, he's just made it clear in his last statement that I've spent a considerable amount of time actually attacking his argument.
I mean, I'm just trying to point out a large portion of your rebuttal to anybody in this room, whether it be me or Zanuck or anybody else, is mostly consistent of attacking them personally. And you do get the argument destruction in there as well. But the thing is, that's a very small fraction of the stuff you're saying. Most of it is
Well,
just
that's not an ad hom.
attacking the person personally.
It's not ad hominem.
That's not an ad hom.
When he demonstrates that you are actually stupid for what you believe, it's not an ad hom anymore.
My arguments being fallacious has no reflection on my character and whether I'm stupid.
Yeah,
So
because
that's actually not correct.
If you keep asserting after you've been shown to be wrong and you keep asserting, then that makes you a stupid person.
I haven't been
No, the
shown to
stupid
be,
person
been
is
asserted to be
strawmanning
wrong
what
by
he
the opposite
said.
side.
When you stick to one small portion of it, cherry picking his argument, and then straw manning that one portion isn't attacking the argument.
What's cherry picking? And then show where he cherry picked.
The whole hour, the guy's saying we can believe fake information.
No, let's get back. I want to know what cherry picking is, and I want you to show how Nathan cherry picked his argument.
Nonsense.
We're waiting. Or are you of the type of variety like a village idiot, where you don't have to support your claims, just like the village idiot on the corner, right?
Everyone fucking heard it. I don't have to repeat
any of his claims,
what's been
right?
repeated 7 times there.
The village idiot doesn't support any of his claims. Everyone knows he's a village
Okay.
idiot because
Everybody
he doesn't support
heard
his
him
claims.
say it.
So you made
I'm
2
just
claims.
pointing out what he did.
Now support those claims, please.
He just fucking did. I'm pointing out.
Oh,
the
he
fallacies
just
that
did it. I didn't hear him do it.
Okay.
I didn't hear it, Cherry.
I don't care whether you heard him do it or not. It was
Oh, you
pointed
don't.
out.
You don't care. So we'll just treat you as
Pure-
a village idiot.
pure.
Because there's no difference, right? If you can't support your claims, then we'll just treat you like a village idiot. It's the same thing, right? Thanks.
So, okay.
Oh,
Who
Pure
is that?
can. Pure fires sniper rifles with Coriolis, right, Pure?
Hold on, I don't want to move on to
Yeah,
Coriolis. I
Spurs.
want to stick to gravity. I want to stick to
No,
gravity.
is that pure? Is that pure anarchy? That knucklehead? Is that what you're saying, Spurs? Was that pure anarchy talking?
Was, yeah.
Oh, he's from erectile dysfunction, from the old erectile dysfunction days. He's an oldie, Nathan.
Okay.
If you don't attack the argument and just attack the person, that's ad hominem by definition.
Yeah, that was an ad
Yeah,
hominem.
that's what he's doing.
The question
No,
is if you do. I think that the contention here is if you do
Well,
both, which is it?
because it's a logical fallacy. If you want to really have an
To be
argument,
honest,
you don't do
I
that.
couldn't
That's
care
the
less
whole
about any
point
of
it.
this. I'm only interested in the argument. You know, I'm interested in why
You're not only interested in the
anybody.
argument, you're interested in demeaning
Yeah,
people.
as soon as I try and bring it back on track to the argument, loads of rumpusing ensues. I'm interested in gravity. There's a lot of people who believe gravity's real, and I'd like to know why, given the thorough demolition of that particular assertion today here, why anybody would believe it's real when it clearly isn't.
Well, because they need it, Nathan.
When you see
Otherwise,
the
their whole concept falls apart.
hardly, you just see the effects. Now we can talk
Oh
about the
my
cause.
gosh!
To the
Come on,
Zanuck, how do you know that effect is attributed to this force that's not a force, but a bending of a concept?
Hear the question? How do you know that the non-force attributable to the bending of space-time is an established effect of that cause?
Yes, no, maybe so. Zanuck?
Well, they have to tread carefully here because it's a pseudo force, so they're going to now prop up something fake for
Well,
it
yeah,
to
I
be
mean,
real.
I've heard him say a couple of times we witnessed the effect of gravity. I'll admit we see an effect. How do we know that that's gravity?
Well, that's the name they put on it, chocolate. I mean, it doesn't make sense what
Oh,
you just said.
I know. I want him to say it.
Yeah, exactly. I want to hear him say it.
Yes, that's the effect. We call it gravity. You can call it whatever you want, but that's an effect that we all can recognize.
So I can call the unicorn farts if I want.
You can call it whatever you want. It's like you can use any units of measure for things that we observe, right? We don't need to have the cause. We just need to know, here's the observation. Now, you want to get into cause.
False
that we can
equivalence
debate on.
fallacy.
Do I know?
The
do I
only
know
way
it's
you
caused
confirm
by
that is by
bending space-time?
scientific experiment, because you're proposing a cause and effect relationship, correct?
Okay, so we just don't need to know the cause.
Yes. Well, no, not necessarily. Depending on the experiment. If you want to do an experiment for gravity, we can do that.
Oh, we have already done that like 6 times. You're a star on my show with that, by the way. Do you want another go at it?
I'm up for it.
We're going to go with the kindergarten definition of scientific method. So we'll go
Kindergarten
with the
definition of the scientific method. What's that?
Let's just do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
You're dependent.
Watch this.
You're independent.
Watch
Your
this
control
one,
variable
Nathan.
scenario.
Hiya! I'm all that and a bag of chips. 1 second, please.
No worries.
I've
do
got
this.
a project to work on. Could
Thank you,
possibly
Emerald.
take-
You've been a good sport
I've got to
as
run
always.
a lot of
No, you can't leave me.
heavy-duty
No,
program.
Emerald, you can't go.
Let Emerald.
All the
I'm sorry.
All the plants will die.
Hold on, let me just
All
thank
the
him.
plants will die.
Thank you, Emerald. You've been a good sport as always.
Hope to see you guys soon. Adios.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Later.
Okay.
Later.
Bye. Miss you already. All right, Zanuck. We got you on the screen again. This is like the 6th or 7th time. I'm loving this. Okay, we're going to do the same thing again. Natural phenomena observed, please.
Objects fall at 9.8 meters per second squared.
Yep, this is another one. Same one. What do I got here? Oh. All right. That is your dependent variable, correct?
Say a nice moment.
Independent variable, please. Say height. Because that's what you did the last time, please.
The dependent variable?
Independent.
I said, go ahead, Nathan.
Independent variable, please.
Oh, the independent variable. The mass of the object.
Mass of the object now.
Yes.
Okay, so the mass of the object, 1 second, please. Copy. So, which gravity are we trying to elucidate here? Is it Einsteinian or Newtonian?
Newtonian.
Mass of the object causes. Damn, I got a lot of problems today. Causes. The mass of the object causes object fall at 9.8 meters per second squared. Go boom, boom. Paste.
Just summarize it just for Zanik, because he can't see it. So we've got a natural phenomena. Objects fall at 9.8 meters per second. Independent variable. Mass of the object. Alternative hypothesis. Mass of object causes object to fall at 9.8 meters per second squared. Is that correct so far?
Yeah, that'll work.
Say again, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Go boom, boom. 1 second, please. Mass of the object causes object fall, go boom, boom at 9.81 meters per second squared. Okay, before we get to the definition of mass, which is going to be loads of fun, go boom, boom, 9.81.
Our dependent variables going to be what again? What are you using for that?
Object falls at 9.81 meters per second squared. That was your observed phenomena.
Yeah, that's our test.
So mass of the mass of the object causes object fall, go boom, boom at 9.8 meters per second squared. Okay, helium balloon.
Okay.
The mass, whatever that may be, of the helium balloon doesn't fall down, go boom, boom at 9.81 meters per second squared.
In a vacuum, it does.
No, in a vacuum. Where's
what?
there a vacuum in nature?
Hold on. You had a
okay. Go ahead.
Anywhere there's a
phenomena.
differential pressure, there's a vacuum.
Hold on. We had a reasonable phenomena. Yeah. Now you've got this vacuum being introduced. You didn't mention it until now.
We have to have control variables, correct? You forgot that.
Control? We don't live in a vacuum, sir. We're dealing with reality here. This is natural science. Nature abhors a vacuum. We don't have a vacuum.
You don't think vacuums exist? I can have a helium balloon that falls, sure.
Hold on. He said you don't think vacuums exist. Show me a natural.
Vacuums don't exist?
Show me a natural
Anytime
vacuum.
there's a differential pressure, there's a vacuum.
Show me one.
Measure the air density. Measure the air pressure at your feet.
Zanik, is a helium balloon falling in a vacuum a natural observed phenomenon?
Depends on how you define natural.
Well, like an apple falling from a tree would be natural. You sat there and watched it and it fell.
Natural because man hasn't touched it, or natural because you can observe it?
Well, yeah.
If it's in a vacuum chamber, is it natural?
Sure.
We define natural as here. I'll define it for you. That's a fair question. The natural world. I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4 definitions from Merriam-Webster. All of the animals, plants, and other things existing in nature and not made or caused by people. Oxford dictionaries, existing or derived from nature, not made or caused by humankind. Vocabulary.com, natural, something that comes from nature rather than being man-made. And natural from Cambridge. From nature, not artificial or involving anything made or caused by people. Is that good?
So you can't use an helium balloon then because it's made by man.
Exactly.
No, that's not the effect.
Exactly. No. Come on. You are
no. Come on.
Words. You got Merriam-Webster's dictionary in your back pocket, yet you can't understand the difference between natural and natural phenomena. Go look up natural phenomena.
And natural phenomenon. Yes, that's what anything made or caused by people.
Natural phenomena can't be caused by people. So a plane flying is not a natural phenomenon.
Okay, fine. He's got an objection with a helium balloon, saying, "Well, that's not natural." What about a
Called
plant?
engineering? No, it's not called
What about
engineering.
plant?
What's
Hold
a
on.
plane flying? That not a natural
Hold on a
phenomenon?
second. Hold on a second.
Sonic.
We'll just use helium then.
Helium, is helium natural?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show me, have you seen it?
Yes,
Have you
it
seen
is.
helium? Show me some helium. Where do you get helium? How do you
It's a
get
gas.
helium?
It's a gas, Sonic.
You ever
You
seen
d-
helium?
Hold on.
You ever-
Hold on. We might have a new wingman for David Dallas. Do you deny gas?
Of course not.
Oh, so you don't deny that there's helium, that it's a real thing then?
How do you know it's real? Have you seen it?
Sorry, so you do deny
your-
helium?
Show me your proof. Show me your
Seems
proof.
like we got a helium denier. That's interesting.
It's helium, huh? Is that how it works?
So you
Show me
deny helium then?
I'm not denying. I'm asking you if you know helium. You say
Yeah,
it
I know
exists.
helium.
Yeah, it's on the periodic table.
Yeah.
There's helium's a gas.
Goes up.
And
How do you know?
NASA
Because someone
is the
told you?
world's
Because you read it in a
foremost
book?
consumer of it.
Do you know
Because you read
something
it in a
I know?
book?
Do you know something I know specifically about helium? I know a little
How
fact
do you
about
get
it.
helium? Where's your helium from? Where does helium
It definitely doesn't
Show me
go
where you get
down.
helium from.
Go boom boom.
You know where helium comes from?
I knew about helium when I was 5, and I had a birthday party,
where
and
does
they
it
put
come from?
that stuff in
Where does it
balloons
come-
for
where
me.
does
It's
it
all
come
right.
from?
It's all right. He's got an
Where does
objection
it
with
come from?
helium. Fine, no worries. What
Where
about?
does it come from? Where does your helium
Hold
come
on.
from? in
It's
nature?
all right.
If we're gonna
I'll
stay
just brush
natural,
past it.
let's
I'm
stay
hand
natural,
waving it.
Nathan.
Zanik,
Don't
I'm
change
giving you a
the playing
different
field.
example. Zanik. Right. So I used an apple
Where do you
from
find
a tree.
helium?
Zanik,
You know?
try and control yourself. Come on.
Where-
I gave you an
I am.
example
Where do you
of a
find
natural
helium?
phenomenon.
Please help me understand where you find
Is
helium.
it time for him to get kicked
Quantum.
out again? Because
Quantum
he's
racing.
not letting me talk.
He's going to piss me off.
He's pissing me off as well. He's just not letting me talk. So Zanik, I gave an example of an apple falling from a tree as the natural phenomena you originally gave, right? However,
Right.
what about the tree itself? It goes up, right?
It can go down too.
No, it grows up.
Not always. Although the tree goes up, yes.
No, but you just said objects fall down at 9.8 meters per second, but this tree's going up.
Correct. So the mass that formed the apple, as I mentioned many times before,
It went up. Up. Yeah? I just grew some sunflowers. They're quite a substantial mass. And it didn't go down at 9.8
Of
meters
course.
per second. You're talking over me again. So do we need to count off the number of times the Fundy interrupts the demolition of his claimed phenomena? So the plants go up, like the helium.
Oh, goodness. We're way off reservation.
Just one more thing, QE. So, at the beginning of the last show, you brought up... No, end of the last show, you brought up a definition in regards to Newtonian mechanics.
Oh, yeah. You want to see that again?
Yes, please. So, the reason I ask is you asked Zanik to qualify which gravity he was qualifying scientifically, although he didn't manage that. And his answer was Newtonian.
You want to have some fun before that? What is the Newtonian law of gravity, Zanik?
big
Give it
G
to us.
mm divided by r squared.
1 second, we didn't hear you. You want to... 1 second. Before you say that, 1 second, please. Okay, give us the Newtonian law of gravity.
The force equals G times M divided by r squared.
The force of G
Force of G.
equals what?
Mass times mass divided by r squared.
That's not Newton's law.
It's not?
No.
G M1 M2 divided by r squared. Yes.
No, that's not Newton's law. You want me to tell you?
It is.
Everyone in the audience
Force
seeing it right now.
equals gravity, big G, M divided by
Big
r
G.
squared.
Okay, big G.
I said
That's
that.
not this. That's not Newton's law, son.
That is that by definition
No,
is Newton's
Newton's
law. Of course it
law. Newton's law is the force of gravity is proportional to m1 times m2 divided by the distance squared. You don't even know
I don't know
Newton's
the books you're
law.
looking at, but the universal law of gravitation is the force equals big G.
No, it's
times
not.
Really?
No,
Let me
it's
give you a
not.
citation.
No, it is not. It is the force
I'll give you a
of
citation.
gravity is proportional to m1 times m2 over distance squared. I know you're wrong. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Where did Newton get big G from?
He calculated the gravitational constant.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
No, he didn't. C.V. Boyce calculated big G 207 friggin' years after the Principia was published, 167 years after Newton's death. What did he do? Was he did he contact him through some type of, I don't know, what's that called when you talk to dead people?
Seance.
In a seance, did he channel him? You have no idea what you're talking about. This is Newton's equation. Big G wasn't even around. Haha, I just had to get you on that because I knew you'd fall into it. I'm going to pull this out for another show. Okay, back to Nathan's point. 1 second, Nathan.
Should we give you a citation?
About you. Citation?
Yeah. I'd like to drag this out a little bit, Zanik. Definitely. Yes, please.
Yeah, we need your citation for Newtonian law. Yeah. Go ahead and post it in live stream. We want to see it.
Here we go.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, I'm in the wrong form. 1 second. Zanuck Universe today. They're wrong.
They're wrong. Okay, they're wrong, and you're right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm right. Where did G come from? Who calculated G? Big G.
You hear the question?
That's a good
They're
question,
wrong.
actually. I'm agree.
Hold on.
I agree. Hey.
Hold on.
I agree.
Hold on.
It's a good
question. The question being asked, where did he get big G? That's the question, Zanuck.
Where did Newton get big G from when it wasn't calculated? The Reverend John Michel and Cavendish didn't calculate it.
Have you ever heard of CV Boys?
No, I say that's a good question. I don't have the details on it. It's been a long time since I looked at this.
Oh, that's cool.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
That's
You're
cool, John.
claiming Newtonian
I don't have
law.
the dates. Really. So I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't have the dates of when this equation was derived.
You don't even know the law.
I just told you the law.
No, you were wrong.
Are you kidding me?
Well, are you talking about Newton's 3 laws of motion? I know the 3 laws of motion. You want to go over them?
Are we talking about Newton's 3 laws of motion, or are we talking about the universal law of gravitation?
Universal law of gravity.
That's right. So why did you invoke his other laws of motion?
Red herring.
So I thought that's what you came back with. Did I hear
herring.
you agreeing correctly?
Let's just get this back on track. So
right.
Where did he get the big G from then? Doesn't come along for another, 207 years?
That's right.
Panic. Hello. Cavendish didn't calculate it, and it was wait a second, Zanuck. Cavendish pulled his non-experiment, him and Reverend John Michel, 111 years after Newton, after the publication of the Principia.
Correct.
And 71 years after Newton died. But Cavendish didn't calculate G. Big G. He didn't even calculate M.
He didn't calculate M? He didn't have a M in his equation?
No, he didn't. I have it right here from Indiana State University. Cavendish didn't calculate a numerical value for G or M. Do you know? Oh, we could pull that up. That's not a problem. Let's go down this trail. From the Michel Cavendish experiment. I love it. They titled it this. I claim ownership to this. Laurent Hodges, Department of Physics and Astronomy, Iowa State University. First, number 1, Cavendish did not determine either big G or M. Everyone's looking at it. Do you want this citation? Let me put this citation in there for you. We'll call this "Be Kind to Dumb Animal Week." You like that, Zanuck, don't you? You don't even know what you're talking about right from the get-go. Right from Jump Street. Nathan, do you want to stick on this?
I think you've rounded it out beautifully. We might have some remarks from Zanuck, but I'm hoping I can round out with you bringing up the reference that you gave to Anthony with the word replaced in it.
I'm headed down here right now. Okay, that is from Caltech. So let's pull this up. Give me a moment to find it.
No worries.
Caltech, here we go. Einstein also replaced the Newtonian law of motion. Let's make this bigger. I want everyone to see it out there, so there's no mistake. Where'd you go? That's 98 field equations. Where are you? Einstein also replaced the Newtonian law of motion by the statement that free test particles move along geodesics, the shortest curves in space-time geometry.
What's the name of that geometry?
Pseudo-Riemannian force space.
And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who've tuned in on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Of course, a massive thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this show possible. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!